On this week's episode, we got to be careful, otherwise we'll end up as the Code 3. And for the last time this season, I'm Adam Smith.
I'm Erica Jordan.
I'm Etta Wilhelm.
I'm Jeremy Bennett.
Now grab your tickets, because we're getting to the theater. Hi there, everybody. Welcome to our season finale.
Who thought we would have made it here? Not me, that's for sure.
20 episodes.
God damn.
To end this season out, we're talking about Mad Max from 1979, directed by George Miller. This might have been his first film that he ever directed.
It shows.
I was to say, it makes sense.
Yep.
And he's gone on to film 4 more of these movies. He actually even filmed Babe 2, Pig in the City.
Babe, Pig and City?
And I believe he also directed both Happy Feet films, or at least one of them.
I do
Happy
love that
Feet?
first Happy Feet, man.
Yeah, the same guy that directed this directed at least one of those.
The second one, not great. But that first one, that's a classic.
It is.
I own that shit on DVD. And saw it in theaters.
We watched that at one of your pool parties.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Because I fucking love that movie.
Sorry, I was trying to find... He did definitely direct the second one.
Oh, boo.
I'm trying to see if he directed the first one.
Happy Feet or Mad Max?
Happy Feet.
He definitely directed Mad Max, the first
he
one.
looks like he directed both of them. Yep.
Gotcha.
Really lost his way with that first one. Or with the second one.
They were figuring things out.
Well, this movie is set in the not-so-distant future, as the opening of the movie says. And
What, so like 1980?
1997.
You're the worst.
1997.
It's actually set in 1997?
Yeah.
Oh, how'd you find that out?
You gotta look it up because they definitely don't tell you.
Oh, wow.
They didn't tell you a lot.
I
There
was confused
not a lot of narration.
that it was in Australia. That's how I found that out.
You couldn't tell from the accents? Get ready,
They
listeners.
were
There's going to be some bad ones.
though. They were, to me, they were bad Australians.
I didn't know what the hell was going on the whole time.
You
Well,
and me
okay, not
both.
the whole time, but
And then some of the, they dubbed over the voices.
Oh,
So that's
I
why,
forgot about that.
That's why it was confusing to me because I don't even know which one we were watching because there'd just be random times I would be like, are they in Australia? I feel like they're trying.
It was bad. it was real
But
bad.
then I was reading, there's some where they dubbed over because a lot of people apparently have problems understanding Australian dialect.
Was one of them Goose? Because I couldn't understand a thing he was saying ever.
Probably, yeah, probably.
I liked Goose. He was my favorite
the
character.
return of Goose.
Another Goose.
Yep.
But this movie is about some cops, very small group of cops fighting a
Very small, like 5 of them.
crazy biker gang. And they're just terrorizing. It makes it seem like all over Australia, even though
It might be just one street.
it might just be one little town outside wherever they are. But our main character here is Max Rakansky. I think I'm saying that right.
Rikitoski?
Rockatansky.
Rockatansky, thank you.
Yeah.
Played by a baby-faced 23-year-old Mel, don't leave that voicemail Gibson. So he's our star of this film. We also have his wife Jessie and their son, who has one of the worst names I've ever heard.
It was pretty bad.
Sprog.
Maybe it's like a name from the 70s. Maybe there's a bunch of Sprogs rolling around Australia in 1978.
Or maybe it was a nickname, hopefully.
Fingers crossed, but also terrible nickname.
It sounds like it came from like Star Trek.
It does.
We made a sprog. All right.
Jessie, we made a sprog.
Is that your Australian accent?
It's going to be right now.
Ooh.
Sprog is a British slang term for a baby or young child.
So he didn't even have a name.
So this kid didn't even have a name. They basically were just calling, like John Wick calls his dog Dog. They were calling their baby Baby.
Well, they weren't watching the baby, so...
Oh my god.
Oh, that shit
If
right
anything,
there.
the baby was watching and protecting the home front.
They should have given that kid a gun.
He had one most of the time.
I missed that the first time.
That kid had a gun. Like we're watching a movie, shit's happening.
And he's like, wait a minute. And
I
I was
don't
like,
even
no,
remember. Are we
he's
at
playing
this
with
scene?
the dinosaur. No, that's
Yeah, this seems
like,
way later. We got ahead.
like
It's
half-
it's later.
Circle around.
So we have Max, Jesse, and Sprague. Max is not partners, but his co-workers on the police force, the MFP or MPF. Sorry.
What does that stand for? Motherfuckers police. Motherfucking police.
Yeah, I feel like it would have been motherfucking police if it was anything.
Yeah.
It was MFP, right?
Yeah.
It was MFP.
MFP, yeah.
Motherfucking police, goddamn.
So I had it right the first time. I wrote it wrong in my notes. It stands for Main Force Patrol.
Boo, I like
Motherfucking police better.
I like that
Oh,
much
no.
better.
Here comes the motherfucking police.
That's what the criminals knew them as.
So we have his captain, who is Fifey McAfee.
Oh, I know. I laughed so hard his name.
Hold on. His first name is Fred.
Oh, damn, I wanted to guess it because my guess was going to be like Michael.
He's played by Roger Ward. But yeah, Fifey.
Jesus.
He's one of the best looking characters in this movie because he always has this really long, like, scarf on.
Always.
And he's bald. He's got a big mustache. He almost looks like Dr. Robotnik.
Mans was a
Oh,
character.
yeah.
We have what seems like Max's best friend and partner, Jim Goose.
We knew his fate as soon as we found out his name.
And that he was the wingman.
Yep.
Geese have wings.
Boo.
That's a man who can ride a motorcycle. Not well, but he can ride one.
I like Goose. He's pretty
Yup.
chill for the most part.
I was very impressed.
Right?
That was so impressed.
Some of the other cops are, and I wrote them down by who they're partnered with. We have Sarce and Scuttle. They're the two we meet in the initial chase that are already chasing Knight Rider in a few minutes.
Is that the guy who has the really bad bowl cut and the guy...
Mm-mm.
Oh, okay.
No, you're thinking of the other two, Charlie and Roop. Roop is the guy with the really bad bowl cut, and Charlie's the one that gets that neck wound
Poor Charlie.
during this chase. Yeah.
Charlie told him, hey, we gotta stop multiple times.
For real.
So our movie actually opens with a big title card, Mad Max. Mm-hmm. And it reminds me of that animated movie Heavy Metal, the way it's stylized. And we see a shot of the police headquarters, which is called the Halls of Justice.
With the U constantly just trying to fall off.
Yeah, I think every shot it actually gets lower and lower.
Mm-hmm.
And we jump to the like an open road, and the text pops up that says a few years from now. And you guys said it was 97?
1997, supposedly.
Yep.
Okay, so 18 years in the future.
So this is a period piece.
It's definitely a piece.
Piece of something. And the first character we're introduced to is actually Roop. And he's being creepy as all hell because he's watching this couple out in a field fuck through the scope of a sniper rifle. Mm-hmm. And he's having a good old time watching them. But then they get a call on the radio, and Charlie answers it about a stolen car, police interceptor. Mm-hmm. The officer was killed, and now the suspect and his girlfriend are just going on a joyride. And this is the Knight Rider.
As he lets us know multiple times in the
constantly.
scene.
Knight Rider.
I'm the Knight Rider.
Like, he was monologuing like a whole villain at one point.
He definitely was.
This guy didn't shut up.
Did y'all notice the street sign when it panned?
Mm-mm.
When it first panned over to, was it the Halls of Justice, or was that, I think it was afterwards when it panned to, it says anarchy, but it's spelled with a CHIE. And I was like, why is anarchy spelled wrong?
Is that the way they spell it in Australia?
Apparently. Yeah, it's an actual road sign in Australia.
Oh, wow. No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
That's
That was
cool.
the first thing I noticed. I was like, anarchy, but spelled differently. Yeah.
And as we're getting shots of this chase, we get inside the Knight Rider's car. We get Sarce and what did I say his name was?
Charlie?
Scuttle.
Oh.
They're pursuing. Roop and Charlie are getting ready, and Charlie won't move over and let Roop drive. Mm-hmm. He's like, for Christ's sake! And Charlie goes, that's blaspheming. I don't have to work with a blasphemer. But they take off after them, and in between all this, we get these shots of another MFP officer working on his car. And they have the cops have these yellow interceptor cars, which were all decommissioned actual police vehicles.
Is that what they looked like? Ooh.
Yeah. You can see them. They're bright.
That's true.
In most other countries, they make their police vehicles brightly colored so you can see them.
Right.
Whereas here in America, they try to make them blend in so that you don't see them.
That is true. I just assume if you're a white SUV or a gray Charger, you're a cop car.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
So we see this guy. He's working on his car. He's under the hood. At some point, he grabs, I think they call it Gojo here, but it's like soap that removes grease from your hands. He's out in the middle on the side of the road.
With some Dawn soap?
Kind of like that. And he's just lathering his hands up. And it made me very uncomfortable. Like, I felt like I needed to go take a shower afterward because you're not actually washing that shit off. You're just spreading it around. You don't have a sink nearby.
Maybe he's using spit.
Ugh.
I don't remember that. I just knew it took forever to reveal him.
Yeah.
Like, forever.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, this is longer than the Indiana Jones reveal.
It really was, too, yeah.
Wow.
So they're chasing the stolen interceptor, and Roop and Charlie are coming up on a crossroad, and as they are getting lined up, Roop is trying to kill this guy.
Rube has the shotgun aimed out the window, getting ready to fire.
He wants him dead.
Yeah.
And like right as the Knight Rider notices there's another cop car, he just slams on his brakes and they drive right by. And they spin out and they crash.
Yeah.
These cars stay spinning out. Like, they can't stay on the road.
They are speeding.
True.
They're going very fast, and they're destroying these cars progressively throughout this scene.
For a weird dystopian future, y'all gotta be more careful with these cars.
Should be.
Yeah.
You would think.
Gas is already at a shortage. You're wasting the gas.
And we see a lot of cars in this movie that are barely holding on. Not a lot. I'm not saying a lot. But there's a few cars that we see that you wouldn't be able to drive that on the road nowadays because there's not much of the car left. There's like no headlights on them. There's no hoods.
Yeah, they're all pieced together.
Well,
Yeah.
In South Carolina, you probably can get away with driving it.
Well, not without headlights. They'll stop you for those headlights.
That's true.
No doors, no airbags, no seatbelts. That's fine. But
No
gotta have headlights.
windshield.
No windshield.
You strap some flashlights to it, you'll be okay.
There you go.
Yeah. Perfect.
They are on the radio and they're talking about the Knight Rider, and someone describes him as a terminal psycho or a terminal psychotic, which is a great term. And the Knight Rider is shouting about someone named Toe Cutter, and he keeps saying, "Do you see me? Do you see me, man?" And his girl is in the car just having the time of her fucking life.
She could audition to be Harley Quinn, like, as crazy as she's going. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, because she's just laughing.
mm-hmm.
And then Knight Rider is apparently, like, all the crazy stuff, some of it is lyrics from, like, AC/DC songs.
Yeah.
Because I was like, is he quoting scripture? But no.
I thought he was just going, having a little
He was having
monologue.
the time of his
Yeah.
life.
Yeah, that's one of the facts I read, that he's quoting music.
Yep.
When Roop and Charlie crash, it cuts to a diner, which I believe is called Fat Nancy's.
Lovely.
And we meet Goose.
I mean, Fat Nancy isn't a crazy name. We've gone to a bar called Fat Tuesdays.
Yeah, I mean, I love the name of this
Yeah.
this little diner. It's great.
Sloppy Joe's.
Sloppy Joe's
Honestly,
funny.
Fat Nancy could be a bar in Key West at this point.
It sounds like a place I would want to go to.
Yeah.
But Goose is in there telling some guy a story about he got to a crash and a guy had bounced out of the windshield and his face was hanging off, and he was trying to scream, but he didn't have a face. This character is brought up again later in the movie, and sadly 90% of all of his stuff was cut, but they left this and one thing near the end.
He should still be able to scream, though, right? If you
Yes.
lose your face?
Yes.
Okay.
But the guy he's telling the story to puts his fork down, and Goose is like, "What's the matter?" And I'm like, "There's no hungry anymore."
It's
Goose-
kind of nasty.
Goose steals his food. Yeah, that's a gross. You don't want to hear that while you're eating.
Yeah.
But the chase shoots by Fat Nancy's, and Goose hops on his motorcycle and he starts chasing after them. They're running through this not running, but they're driving through this small neighborhood. It looks like.
Well, not just Goose, like, jumps off.
Mhm.
Two guys in random tow trucks also
Oh,
go
yeah.
zooping forward, too. And I'm like, what are y'all going to do? Like, are they just prepared to tow the wrecked trucks?
They're
Maybe.
like, we know the MFP. They're going to cause some crashes. They're going to need some cars moved.
We're here to assist.
They got their checkbooks
They
out.
need them parts.
Oh yeah, they do mention later. They just grab a bunch of parts and scrap some or throw some stuff together.
Yep, they're ready. Scavengers.
There you go.
Scavenger.
But as they're having this chase through the street, this baby just walks out off a sidewalk into the middle of the road.
I think their parents are like arguing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And the guy's like, you were seen two nights ago with some other guy. What's that about? It means nothing for the movie except for distracted parents.
Yep.
And
This baby gets far in the street too.
Very far.
He's all the way in the middle of the fucking road.
And then just stops like a deer.
Uh-huh.
Or a squirrel.
But there's also a couple who are driving like a little truck and they have a trailer attached to it. Mm-hmm. And they're trying to do a 3-point turn in the middle of the street. So they're just blocking the whole road.
Is there only one road?
In Australia?
It feels like it.
Yeah.
It really does. One street.
It's Fury Road.
Ah!
Well, while they're on their chase, Roop, who is now driving, because after that first crash, that was Charlie. Roop now crashes into a small van and takes their car out. It was fucked up before. Like, you could hear it clanging. There was steam coming out of the radiator. They're totally out. And Charlie has been impaled through the throat.
I think it was he went through the windshield.
Yeah.
Because remember there was a hole in the windshield?
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. I thought something came through the windshield.
No.
Okay.
No, I think he went through the windshield and cut his throat on the glass.
He's holding his throat, and you can clearly see blood. And Roop's just like, oh yeah, we're gonna need a doctor for Charlie.
Not even there. Like, we're gonna need like a body bag or something.
I
Like,
thought he said a meat wagon or something.
Yeah.
He did call it a meat wagon. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I think that dude is dying, and his partner's just like, yes.
He was a little too calm
like,
about the
Way
situation.
too fucking calm.
Dude's
Way
dead.
too calm.
Like, the guy is bleeding out from the throat. He's like, yeah, I need a sandwich as well.
Yeah.
Call my mom, by the way.
No tomato on that sandwich, please.
Yeah. Oh, also, this dude's dead. Let's get a meat wagon.
Yeah.
He's done. I'm
He's
just
not even
like,
trying to help.
No.
Nothing.
He's like, Charlie, you got that pressure on there? You're good. You don't need me.
yeah, and I'm like, this is definitely post-apocalyptic vibes right here.
Everyday thing.
Yeah, people are always getting their throat cut. It's fine.
Don't worry about it. But then Sars and Scuttle, they fly through the trailer. And Goose was right behind them. And Goose wipes out. And this is how he breaks his leg. Because they mention after all this, during the cleanup, that, oh yeah, his leg's broken. We need to get him to a doctor. But not Charlie. Don't worry about Charlie. He's fine. Charlie's a survivor. But it's this is one of the things I liked about Goose. When he crashes his motorcycle into the side of the truck, the driver sticks his head out, and he goes, "What's going on?" And Goose just says, "I don't know, mate. I just got here myself." And he's smiling. He's still in a good mood. He doesn't give a fuck.
Goose is laughing right up to the end. Like,
For real, yeah.
Oh, his leg broken.
Yeah. And after all these crashes, the Knight Rider made it around that truck. So he's still going. This is where they call Max.
the Interceptor.
Yes, because all the other cars say Pursuit, but Max's car says Interceptor on it.
Yep.
Oh, also right before that crash, the kid is what caused the crash. I forgot about that.
And he survived.
Yeah, little kid was okay.
The kid, like, in the street, everyone's zipping around trying to avoid him. And the mom just runs in, grabs him, and then rolls out. And I'm just like...
But that's after the cars have already gone past him.
Right.
Like I thought this kid got freaking creamed.
Like every other kid.
How do you think they did that stunt? You think they put a dummy in the road?
Probably.
Or you think it was actually that kid?
Well, it's Australia in the 70s. They probably did put that kid right there in the middle. Like, it'll be fine.
Did they film in Australia?
Yes.
Okay.
This movie was filmed... I read it last night where it was filmed around, and I don't remember. I want to say Brisbane, but I'm probably wrong.
Auckland.
On location.
On location, for sure.
And they weren't supposed to be.
Yeah, they didn't have permits for a lot
They
of this
didn't have
shit.
any
Oh,
of it.
yeah.
Is that why we were on this road? Because they were like, we can't get anywhere else.
That's why nearly everything is filmed out in the middle of fucking nowhere.
Yep.
Even though there is a big wide shot near the beginning of a city. But it's like miles and miles in the distance of the shot. But everything else, it seems like it's just out on a dirt road. Or on
in a forest.
Or in a forest. Not a dirt road, but out in the middle of fucking nowhere. So Max finally gets the call, and we see these big close-ups of his aviator sunglasses, his leather gloves gripping the wheel. And he takes off after the Knight Rider. Knight Rider's still talking shit. Still just on the radio. Talking shit to the Bronze, as they call the cops.
Quoting some AC/DC.
Yeah. But Max manages to catch up to him, and he just gently nudges the rear bumper of the Knight Rider's car.
And then the Knight Rider just starts crying.
Yeah, he starts freaking out.
He had an immediate breakdown.
Immediately. Every bit of big hotshot energy he had left as soon as Max bumped that car. And he starts crying and he says something like, it's all gone.
Yeah.
And the woman is like, babe, what's wrong? What's the matter? And Max is so close behind him. They crest this hill. And as they crest the hill, you can see there was a car accident. There's like 2 or 3 cars, and then there's a flatbed, and they filmed this using a actual military rocket. They attached it to the back of the Knight Rider's car, and you can see right before he crashes, it's propelling the car, and it swerves and hits another pile of cars and explodes. And this is the first time we actually see Max, because he gets out of the car and he runs around to look at the explosion, like, oh shit, what did I do? Which apparently this is a common thing for him, causing car crashes.
Right.
Is that why they don't send him out with the rest of the fleet?
Yeah, he's the one that, if they can't take him down, Max is the one that will put them down, but it's going to be a mess. Because we see that later, but then there's some conversation about it as well. Oh, and right before the Knight Rider crashed, we got this close-up of his eyes, like they were bulging out, almost looking like the shots from Total Recall when they're on the surface of Mars.
Yeah.
Just real quick, we see it.
Was there also like a crow and a...
Yes.
Yeah, there's like eyes and crow and...
Because they have a couple of those, like,
random
cuts.
just...
Yeah.
Random bird shots.
Yeah.
Or just bird or animal noises, too.
Yeah.
There's a lot of...
Yeah, especially when we meet Toe Cutter. It seems to happen a lot more with him.
The editing in this was... Choices were made.
So throw a bird.
Not good one.
It was very pieced together.
Yeah.
This is very low budget, and you can tell, but it's more movie than I've ever made.
I was lost in the beginning.
You and me both.
I was too.
You and me both.
I was like, where are we? What is happening?
The only thing I knew is this is Australia.
I didn't even know that.
It took me a while.
Like, who are these people? What are these names?
What are we doing?
These names are not sticking.
Nope.
I only know the names because I looked it up last night when I was taking notes, and I wrote them down. Otherwise, I was not going to know their names.
I know who Max is, and I know who Toe Cutter is.
I know Goose.
And Goose.
Then Goose.
Johnny the Boy.
I'm not sure I know who the rest of the characters are.
I know that baby.
Bubba Zanetti.
Yeah,
Some of these names I do like. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, no, they're neat names. They just feel like... They're just like, give me a name.
They
Random name generator
They
now.
pick these names just like how they put this movie together. They just, piece by piece, just throw some shit, see what sticks. But also, a lot of the actors in this movie remind me of people in modern or contemporary film. Like the guy who plays Goose, Steve Bisley. Mm-hmm. He reminds me of Hugh Laurie.
I don't know who that is.
He's the guy who played House.
I guess a little bit when he's doing like his comedy situations.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, but just not exact one for one, but that's who I thought of when I saw him. When I see Toe Cutter later, I think he looks like Matt Berry.
I was getting very David Bowie vibes off of him.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's the way he had the makeup and the hair.
There was one thing about him that was off to me, and I couldn't figure it out until damn near the end of the movie. But every time I looked at his face, I was like, there's something weird here, but I can't figure out what it is. Like, not that the actor who plays Toe Cutter is Hugh Keays-Byrne. I might be saying that wrong. Looks like a totally normal guy, but there's just something they do with this character, and I couldn't figure it out until the very end of the movie. There's a close-up on him, and I was like, oh, that's what's weird. He's missing an eyebrow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And one of his eyes, he almost like has eyeshadow around it.
Black eyeshadow, and then the other eye has white eyeshadow, and the white eyeshadow eye, it looks like he cut off his eyebrow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's what it was. As soon as I noticed or realized it was his eyebrow, I was like, oh, it's not that weird.
Yeah.
But I couldn't figure it out.
Missing an entire eyebrow is pretty weird.
It
Yeah.
was weird.
But yeah, that's definitely weird.
Not both eyebrows. Just one
Just
eyebrow.
one.
He is meant to be a weird character.
But also, this same actor has been in another Mad Max movie.
Morton Joe.
He was the main villain in Fury Road.
Mm-hmm.
Was he the tiny one?
No, he was the one with the mask and the silver
The
plate.
main villain
You
in
can't
Morton
really
Joe.
see his
Yeah, he has that mask on.
face, but you can see them eyebrows though.
Yep.
Okay.
And he sadly passed before they did the latest movie, so there's a different person playing a Morton Joe.
A Morton, yeah.
A Morton Joe in Furiosa.
And Morton Joe's in Furiosa?
Yeah, because Furiosa takes place before Fury Road.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
I've only ever seen Fury Road,
Who's playing in Morton Joe in Furiosa?
I'm not sure.
which made it really confusing when I was watching this and I was seeing greenery. And I was like,
Instead
And
of
not
just brown.
desert.
yeah, I was
Yeah.
like,
I was
how
like,
do
where's
we
the
get-
desert?
right? I was like, how do we get from here to there?
Right. But sadly, Hugh died in December of 2020. Don't say it.
COVID?
God damn it.
Potentially.
Could be.
It
He
was COVID time.
He is played by a man named Lakey Hume.
Okay.
I'm sure I'm saying that completely wrong. But that's who plays Immortan Joe in Furiosa.
He looks like
He looks like one of the Trailer Park Boys.
well, he also looks like what's his name? Danny McBride in Pineapple Express.
A little bit. Okay. I could see it with that haircut. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, and we haven't even
Let me see.
met Toe Cutter yet. So, before Max bumped the Knight Rider had a great line. He described himself as a fuel-injected suicide machine. Which, I don't know if that's a lyric from AC/DC or not.
I didn't look up the actual songs and lyrics.
But I did find that line to be interesting.
Yeah.
Like, that's a hell of a description for yourself.
Sounds like a Fall Out Boy line.
I could see that.
Yeah.
Also, Max, when he first intercepts the Knight Rider, I'm sorry, I missed all this in my notes. He played chicken with him.
Yeah.
Max was parked down the road, and he waited for him to come over the hill, and they both swerved out of the way. Luckily, they went the opposite directions.
I think that is actually what unnerved Knight Rider, because that's when he started acting funny.
When he started crying.
When they played chicken, and then he was the one who jumped out of the way.
Oh.
Yeah, because Max went straight at him. He never veered off. But it was Knight Rider who was the one who got cold feet at the end and jumped out of the way. And I think that is what unnerved him for Max to then turn around,
Oh, then he bumps his
run
car.
him down, and then bump his car. So he was unnerved from the playing chicken.
Oh, okay. So I had it all wrong. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I like that better anyway.
Yep, kind of like the...
That would scare the shit out of me.
Kind of like Top Gun when it's just like, I got you.
Yeah.
And it was just kind of like a got you moment, and it completely just psyched him out. Mm-hmm. And he was gone after that.
Like, that was that character's name?
Everett.
No, the one that Maverick had to talk down
At the beginning.
at the beginning. Cougar.
Yep.
Cougar.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So that's a little bit better of an explanation as
Max
why he
plays
got
chicken
shot.
a lot too, because that's not the first time he did that.
Yeah, he does it later.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That
But
means
then it's him versus 4.
Yeah.
he's like mad or something.
Mm-hmm.
Not yet. Not yet.
Yeah.
He's,
No,
just
he's
acting.
mad. If you're playing chicken with criminals, you're a little off.
This movie's more Mad Goose than Mad Max, to be honest.
For real.
They're both mad. Honestly, this movie probably could have been about Goose. Once
I mean,
again,
to be
this movie
fair-
could have been about Goose. Just like the last Top Gun could have been about Goose.
Instead of Maverick, we have Max.
But Goose was on more of the cover art because a lot of people didn't know about Mel Gibson.
Mm-hmm.
Because he was still, a drama student at this point or something? Like
He
he
was.
He was just starting out.
Yep. And also, I believe this is Mel's real Australian accent.
Yeah, because he lived there for 10 years.
Yeah,
I didn't
and-
realize that either.
He's American born,
Mhm.
but he spent a lot of his childhood in Australia. And I love it in some movies still in the 80s and 90s. You can still kind of hear that accent slip out a little bit.
Yeah.
Like in Lethal Weapon 4, there's a scene where he's hanging from the edge of a roof, and the people get a dumpster for him to fall in. And he says, "Oh, you couldn't have found anything smaller?" That accent just jumps right out. But in this movie,
I'm good.
it's weird hearing him with that accent for me, because I've never heard him do a movie solely using it.
Right.
I've only ever heard him using his American accent for the most part.
Exactly. So, yeah. That's why there's a lot of Goose in here, because
Goose.
I guess he was more recognizable.
The Goose.
Yeah.
After we get the Knight Rider car crash, it cuts to a little bit of sexy saxophone from Jesse.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, it's like evening. They're in their little beach bungalow, and Jesse's for some reason just playing saxophone randomly.
Yeah,
As you do.
and for her first 7 scenes in this movie, she has the exact same outfit on.
It's her pajamas.
She has a white button-down shirt on, and that's it. She looks like the girl from Dirty Dancing. Did anyone else see that?
That's literally what I said. Yep. Because I'm just like, is that the girl from Dirty Dancing? And I went and looked it up.
Everyone in this movie reminded me of someone else. Bubba Zanetti looks like Liev Schreiber.
You did say that.
The guy, he played Sabretooth in X-Men Origins.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When we haven't met some of these characters yet, but when we meet Johnny the Boy, I thought he was the Jumper from Lethal Weapon. I thought we had a Mel Gibson reunion with this guy. Totally different actors. But I thought it was the same guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, so...
You know what this movie reminded me of a little bit?
Mad Max Fury Road?
No. West Side Story.
Huh?
I kept expecting them to start singing.
Is it because of the leather?
I really, it felt like the Jets and the Sharks were getting ready to duke it out. And then...
Goddamn Skags.
Yeah.
Really?
I thought they were just going to, dance their way down that Fury Road. It was...
We do get some dancing from the bikers when we first meet
As I
them.
said,
Yeah.
there are some flipping around and stuff.
Yeah.
And then they were dancing in the street.
They made me think of the circus clowns from Batman Returns that work for Danny DeVito.
They were just doing weird shit.
They were acting like
Yeah.
performers, like everything they were doing. They were dancing in the street. They were being very extra with everything
Like that-
in their first introduction.
One time they walked out of the bar or whatever, and Mance just rolled and got up, and I was like, damn.
That one cat man who decides to, crawl up things and walk across gutters and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. Very West Side Story.
I have his name written down, by the way. So Jesse's playing the sexy sax, and
Then it cuts to the baby.
no. It shows them watching the news, and they're talking about the crash that happened. And she says, "Oh, you made the news again." This motherfucker is causing crashes all over the place, and
all over the road.
all over this one road. You're right, the one road in Australia, and you can kind of tell in this scene that Max is kind of like he doesn't like what happened, but he's it's like part of his job.
Does he like his job?
No, he doesn't, and we learn that a little bit in the next scene or the next morning.
Is he getting paid?
Has to be.
They have a beach bungalow. I love that house.
Yeah,
That is a
that
good house.
open air house.
Yeah, she did
Yeah.
very much like that.
I liked it too. It was nice.
And then I also was like, where the fuck are we? Because, what is this location? And then what was the location they were at earlier? And then how do we go from this to whatever the hell we get in the later Mad Max movie? Like, do we leave? Does a bomb go off? What's happening?
There was a moment where I was like, I need to see the second film. Just because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't know how we get from here to Fury Road. I was like...
You're not gonna get those answers.
They
Oh,
didn't
God.
do well as far as giving you the feel for a setting and a location. I think that's one of the issues I had.
No, they were-
in the
I needed
beginning.
a Star Wars scroll going. Give me something.
Yeah, I'm like, at this point, I kind of want an expo dump because I don't know what's happening.
For real.
I know they say that the exposition dump a lot of times is bad for things, but I was like, I feel like I kind of need.
I
one.
needed something, some explanation of what this is.
Yeah, so far I got a cop chase. I don't really know what organization the cops are with. I don't know where they are.
I didn't understand they were cops for a long time. I thought they were just,
Leather daddies.
Yes.
I thought it was some kind of fucking vigilante law enforcement.
Yeah.
Which would have been great. I told Etta actually, I was like, they could have told me this shit took place on another planet and fucking society has broken down and there's just one random vigilante law enforcement force that's trying to keep the peace in the fucking remnants of society.
You know what? Better movie.
I didn't even get the vibes of society
Dystopian.
is crumbling,
Yeah.
dystopian.
Yeah.
Because everything felt so rural.
Yeah.
It just felt like it was more a small police force dealing with criminals out in the boonies.
Yep.
This could be, minus the beach bungalow, this could take place in Kansas, and I would believe it.
100% wholesale. This could have been called the Boonies.
Yeah.
I believe in Australia they call the middle of nowhere whoop whoop.
This could have been called Whoop
They
Whoop.
just be throwing phrases or sounds together and just rolling with
I love
it.
Australians will give anything a fucking nickname. I love that about them. But
I mean, Americans do that too.
that's true.
The nicknames are just bad.
I mean, nicknames
often.
for baby. Toe cutter is a slang Australian word for what, a detective?
I can't remember.
Yeah, it's also a slang term.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that really gave me any kind of dystopian vibes is the Halls of Justice. Because it looks like it's an abandoned fucking factory.
Like an abandoned Ford factory in Detroit.
And then the cars, basically.
I just thought that was 70s aesthetics.
And I was like,
The cars falling apart?
Yeah.
they
I
needed some more shots of the setting. Other than just, here is a deserted fucking road.
That budget really, they didn't use every penny. There's no way.
Give me some stills of
Yeah,
fucking
they
locations.
did. They were paying the bikers in beer. That's how they got paid.
Maybe they should have cheaped
Trivia.
out on the beer too. Like,
Damn.
Oh, I gotta fuck with my mic.
I got a fun fact about beer.
God damn it.
We gotta wait.
you got it, friend.
Is this the fun fact about them getting
you
paid
know?
with the beer?
Well, he said he had a fun fact about beer.
I do have a fun fact about beer.
Go on.
But I looked up the definition of toe cutter. It's a criminal who enjoys torturing their own.
Oh, and he does.
He does.
Oh, that's not the one that I got.
Yeah, that's just the one I looked up, and that's what Urban Dictionary told me.
Urban Dictionary.
Yeah, but the fun fact about beer: most of the extras in this movie were paid with beer.
Yeah, Etta actually just said that.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
The biker
Well, you
gang,
were
yeah.
not listening.
I was
It's-
looking something up.
It's
Yeah.
okay. I
'Cause,
do the same thing. You can only
the-
focus one thing at a time.
The
Yeah.
biker gang, they were extras?
Yeah.
The biker gang were real bikers.
and,
Yeah.
And they were an actual gang, too.
Yeah, they had to like come to set every day in costume with their weapons.
Did they bring their own weapons? They're like, this is my killing knife.
Weapons.
Oh.
They were prop weapons.
Yeah, but they had to come to work every day in the costumes on their bikes, and they had a joke about it. They had like cards from the movie producers. It was like a get out of jail free card, which there's a joke about that in the movie when they meet when Goose is talking to that couple with the motorcycle.
Yes.
It was a running joke on set, which is why they put that in the film. We're getting way ahead of ourselves.
Yeah, we
Yes.
We're
are.
hovering around one of my favorite parts, honestly.
The kid.
The baby.
The baby.
Well, in that scene of Max and Jesse watching TV, we also get she tells him that their son Sprague hit her with a right hook. And this kid's like,
checked out.
one. But it's funny because Max goes, "Oh, I always taught him to lead with his left," and she calls him a little monster, his little monster.
Jeremy thought she was talking about him giving her a right
Yeah,
hook.
or another man. I
Yeah.
thought she was like, oh yeah, such
I
and
was
such
like,
a person gave
no,
me a
the
right hook. I was
baby.
like, we just out here getting beat and talking about it like it's casual?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell is happening?
Yeah, this kid laid his mom out. But then the next morning, Max is getting ready, and this is where I had some note about just leather pants.
They were doing it for me.
They was doing it for you.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell the leather fact you learned?
Oh yeah, well, see, I've seen two different things on this, but it doesn't really matter. There was only one actual leather uniform, and I've seen that where it said Goose was wearing it, and I've seen it where it said Max was wearing it.
I saw the one that said Max,
Okay.
but everyone else had vinyl.
Vinyl, yeah.
Yeah, but Max is the one that was
You
wearing
don't like
real
the
leather.
leather outfits?
No. One, feels like it'd be hot.
Oh my god, you can't breathe in that.
Two, I didn't
But
find
you're
any...
always cold.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, for you that'd be great.
Yeah, but then, I don't want to wear hot leather.
But you're always cold.
I don't want to wear hot leather.
But yeah, so moving on.
I don't know. I like it better than an actual cop uniform. It
It was very showgirl. Once again, I thought...
yeah,
I mean, to be honest, the cops themselves look like a biker gang with all the leather they were wearing.
but a lot of the costume choices were interesting, like the scarves and just the random piece
Is
together. outfits.
I love Toe Cutter's outfit.
is George Miller a member of the LGBT community?
Like, is he an ally or
Is he a part of it?
I don't.
Is he gay?
Is he gay?
You
Tell
can
me.
cut this out. I'm curious because some of these choices, looking back at it, this is very,
Is he a member?
yeah, this vibe is very,
Is he mafia?
It's just 80s. Everything kind of had that vibe at that point.
She's right.
He might be straight, but he is a feminist,
Oh,
as
there you
he's
go.
been described.
Self-described.
that explains Furiosa and Fury Road.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we were talking about Max getting ready, the leather outfit.
And then it goes to the baby.
No.
Not
The baby's
yet.
sitting in the room playing with toys, but Jessie comes in and she seems kind of grumpy, and she says she's not. But it's because I don't think she wants him to go to work.
Mm-hmm.
He says Goose called him in, told him he needed him at the
Early.
Halls of Justice early. And then the best shot, it randomly cuts back to Sprague on the floor, and he's got a fucking gun.
Just a revolver.
That's
just...
almost as big as him.
Yes.
It's like it's a fucking
Yeah.
dirty Harry revolver,
Uh-huh.
and this kid's just sitting there on the floor playing with it.
This is not a toy.
No, and
I was like, was that a toy gun? But they never address it. They don't show it again.
I missed it because first he's playing with his dinosaur, pan to them, pan back.
And he's
so
got
it's
this
like a
fucking gun.
Homie got a whole revolver.
And then the next time because I was like, no, he's playing with like a dinosaur, and when it pans back to him, he's playing with his little dinosaur.
Because I was just like, Etta, that kid had a gun.
that
I know
baby
what I saw.
had a gun.
That baby was armed and dangerous.
But like my favorite thing is like every time we see this kid afterwards,
Oh yeah,
he like.
Kid had a whole gun.
But like every time I saw the baby afterwards, I was like, man, I hope someone gives that baby a gun to protect the household.
or himself.
Right? But like what's great is like when the baby's in the trunk of the car. Okay. No, we'll wait. I'll
We're
wait.
getting way ahead of ourselves.
Wait.
So Max is telling Jessie basically like, look, I gotta go in early. Goose called me, and Max heads downstairs and she does this hand motion where she like circles around her head and then she like points at her fingers and he goes like,
And then she
What?
like points to her mouth,
yeah,
which I was like, blowjob? What? Where are we going?
I'm trying to
No,
go for work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was like, oh, crazy.
You know how hard it is to get these leather pants off
or on.
or on, but it means she's crazy about him.
There could have been an easier way to say that. Just holler it at him across the yard. I do that a lot. When we used to live in the apartment, I would just like yell down the floors of, I love you, don't talk to strangers, eat your vegetables.
Oh my god,
Which he doesn't.
sometimes.
Not a tsunami.
For real.
Goddamn right.
Those vegetables are so good at tsunamis though.
Oh yeah, they are.
So Max rolls up to the Halls of Justice, and Goose comes in.
I feel
with his-
like, sorry, I feel like whenever we say halls of justice, we should make it sound more grand.
Isn't that what
From Justice League,
Justice
the
League.
hall of justice.
This is what my man was talking about earlier.
Remember when I said something about people interrupting?
Yes, in the group chat, literally said, as long as Erica doesn't interrupt me.
This is why these filming times are freaking 3 to 4 hours.
Right.
Right.
When I
Because just
start
rabbit
talking.
holes. Rabbit holes.
Yeah.
Going in circles.
Yeah.
Circle back, baby.
So when Max leaves for work, he heads over to the Halls of Justice.
Thank you.
Meanwhile, at the Australian Halls of Justice,
I was very impressed by Goose. How the fuck do you ride a motorcycle with a broken leg
Right?
propped up on the fucking handlebar?
this man's talented.
Gifted. I was like, he should be at home resting.
But also, this movie must take place over a number of months because
It does.
later on in the movie, his leg is totally fine,
Mm-hmm.
but there's no real indication of that.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he rolled, this man also is in great shape.
Mm-hmm.
They take Max into the garage, and there's a mechanic. I think his name is Barry.
Go on.
Circling back to Goose real fast. The man, he could put on his pants. Couldn't put on a shirt?
There was a lot of shirtless the randomness.
Did he get like too tired after the pants? He was like, we'll worry about the shirt later.
Yeah,
Or
of
it's
course.
just hot in Australia.
Maybe the leather outfits aren't the way to go then.
Nah, they need the leather.
Was he wearing a scarf? Because, man, that's how you decorated if you were shirtless. You just put
Max,
a scarf on.
Goose never wore a scarf. It was mainly just Johnny the boy and
Fifi.
Fifi. I almost said Faffy. Fifi. But they take him into the garage, and Barry shows him this new Interceptor with a V8, and it's got this massive fucking engine in it, and Max is like hypnotized by it. And
Dickmatized, if you will.
what'd you just say?
Dickmatized, if
my
you
gosh.
will.
Wasn't the car that Knight Rider stole one of the last of the V8s?
It might have
One
been.
of them.
It might have been.
And I think this was also
Another. Yeah, V8s are hard to find in Australia.
Are they hard to find other places?
Well,
I don't know what a V8 is.
Well, it's the size of an engine. Like, our cars are V4s.
So the bigger the engine, like the faster they can go, right?
The faster they can go, but also just like the more power it has.
Mm-hmm.
Like, we have a 4-cylinder engine. A V8 has 8 cylinders. Like, my Crown Vic had 8 cylinders. So the engine's like twice the size.
Is there like a what's the max? What's the highest? Is there like a V50?
I think no. I think the highest that I know about is a V12. I don't know much about cars, but I think it's a V12. Like, you see those in sports cars.
If you look up, there's a lot of car trivia involving this movie.
Yeah.
That I don't understand most of it.
Yeah.
But
My dad was a mechanic, but nope. But so
this is also dystopian. Like, finding good cars was probably hard at this point.
Right. So this part kind of confused me on my first watch. The car is bugged. They have a radio in the car, and Fifi is upstairs in his office listening to this conversation with the police commissioner, not commissioner, but the.
Okay, yeah, I didn't
the
really understand
DA?
who that was either.
I thought it was a lawyer.
He's Fifey's boss.
No, the lawyers, they messed up. The lawyers, they were really mean.
Yeah, the
with them.
lawyers show up later.
Okay.
Yeah, this guy is Fifey's boss. Tucci, I think his name is.
Stanley?
No, not Tucci.
Oh.
Tucci.
These names
Touche.
are fucking wild.
That's how I thought it was pronounced, but when he says his name, he says Tucci.
Oh,
Tucci.
I think I wrote down how it's spelled.
All these names are just wild.
Da booty.
Max is pretty normal.
He wanted some ass too, like that.
And Goose. And Goose's real name, Jim.
Jim Bub.
Jimbo. But that's the reason why Goose wanted Max to come in early. He wanted to see this car because Fifey wanted Max to see this car because they're trying to entice him to stay on the police force. They know Max is thinking about quitting, so they got this sexy new V8 in there as the new Interceptor as a way to lure Max into not leaving. And Tucci... Yeah, I missed it on the first watch too.
Yeah.
So Tucci has a line to Fifey about, I know you don't want to lose your best...
Your best rider?
He says something like that. But I forget the exact wording he uses. And he's like, I don't like wasting money. He's like, I'm going to go now. Have fun. And Fifey has a great line of, you're a great human being, Tucci. And this guy's out of the movie. We never see him again.
No.
But that's what this scene was about. It was just a way for them to get Max to try to stay. Fifey has this line he says for the first time here that people don't believe in heroes anymore. He says it a couple times throughout the movie. And he's like, I want to give people heroes, give them their heroes back.
I don't think these cops are going to be heroes to anybody. The way they keep fucking around.
Well, the very next thing what we see is Fifey arriving at a crash site at night, and it's another Max special. He was pursuing some people in a car, and he caused them to crash again. And we see one guy bloodied, hanging out the driver or the passenger window of a car.
Yep.
No one's really attending to him. They're kind of just letting him bleed there.
Like Charlie.
Like Charlie, yeah. They had someone else in the meat wagon. But Fifey goes up to Max, and he's like, hey, you remember that code 3 from the other day? Well, come to find out that the rest of his gang, they're kind of after you. And they're called the Scoot Jockeys.
The Scoot Jockeys.
My God.
To which Fifey says, yeah, nomad trash.
Damn.
And Max is like, well, I'll just put that on my threat list.
Man's got enemies.
Yeah. And he's not too worried about it whatsoever. But then in the next scene, we cut to a small town that we learn later is called Wee Jerusalem. They say it on the radio.
Okay. I was missing a lot of the radio channel.
I missed a lot of shit my first watch too. So this is where we meet our biker gang for the first time.
What? We
As in little.
As in little Jerusalem?
WEE Jerusalem.
Is that a real place in Australia?
I have absolutely no idea. Did not look that up.
Did they ever say that they were in Australia?
They did not, as far as I know.
Okay. I think that might just be one of those things that the viewers know that we're in Australia.
That we're in Australia.
When you get there, when you're just like, oh, Australian accents.
Is the rest of
they
the
never
world dystopian, or is it because Australia is so away from everybody else? We're just like, let them eat themselves.
I don't know.
I mean, Australia in general is just a crazy place to live.
We're cutting all that.
I love you, Australia.
It's like
I mean,
Florida of the
but,
world.
like, y'all have crab spiders. No, thank you.
Y'all have.
Is that coconut crabs?
We have
No,
Americans.
those giant, like, alien-looking crabs. What are those called?
I thought they were
Are
coconut
they
spiders.
Are they not
Are they?
coconut crabs?
Coconut crabs.
Whatever,
I might be thinking of something else.
whatever they are. They're creepy looking.
They are.
And they're too social. They'll just like come up and just like
Hey, buddy.
The Australians?
no, the crabs. But also, yeah.
I was like, I don't think I've...
So it was Fraser Street, the main street of Clunes, Victoria. That's what was used for We Jerusalem.
Clunes.
I'm sure I'm saying that wrong. I'm spelling it, or I'm saying it how it looks like it's spelled.
Yeah, so
2 O's?
Mm-mm.
No.
Clunes.
this is not Australia. This is
Well,
Mad
no,
Max
I would say
land.
clones, too.
Right. Our gang rolls up, and there's all these people. There's this couple standing on the step of looks like a little shop. There's a couple waking up in a car, and there's an old man wearing hoochie daddy shorts.
It's not hoochie daddies if it's the 70s. For them, it's just shorts.
Oh, that's fair.
Normal
That car
shorts.
looked comfy, though.
Oh, that red car, yeah.
Yeah.
They were just laid out in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
You can really just lay anywhere in that car because,
You could lay on the ceiling, man.
yeah.
Yeah, the whole inside of that car, it's like
It's-
shag.
But also,
Oh.
it's
A bitch and
to
a half.
clean.
And you know they were up to something.
Yeah. Couldn't drink Kool-Aid in there.
Oh, God, no. But yeah, because when they wake up, like, neither one of them are wearing pants.
Mm-hmm.
No.
To their detriment.
It looks fucking hot, too.
It was a shag carpet, all right.
Nice. Nice. But the gang rolls up and they line up their bikes on the edge of the street. And I don't have all of their names, but I have the few that we see on screen. We have the leader, Toe Cutter. The guy I said looks like Matt Berry with one eyebrow.
And multicolored hair.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's got
he
like a
is.
skunk stripe.
Yep.
Very rogue.
Yeah, actually.
Pretty much.
We have his what I thought was his like right hand man, Bubba Zanetti.
Yeah.
He's blonde, looks like a young Liev Schreiber. Johnny the boy.
Johnny.
We have Mud Guts, who is the guy that you said kept climbing on top of the building making cat noises.
Oh.
And then we have Kundalini, who's the guy with the porn mustache.
Apt name.
Cunnilingi, I see.
Uh-huh.
Apt
This guy
name.
fucks professionally when he's not doing this movie.
They all look like they could be in some sort of musical porno.
Why is it a...
You
You know
really
what?
want this musical thing to
I
happen.
do. Matt's the musical.
With Muppets.
Picture it. Sicily.
Or cats. The guy already got one
Yep.
that can meow.
Yep.
You got the hair from Toe Cutter. Like,
Mhm.
it's, yeah, they're already partway there. Cat bikers.
Cat bike. So they walk up to the old man in the shorts, and they say they're here to meet their friend at the train. And the guy says, "Not much coming on the train. A few odd things here and there, and a coffin." Oh, coffin. And Bubba Zanetti's like, "Yeah, our friend." But it was great when they got off their motorcycles. When Toe Cutter is walking to the station, Johnny's like wiping the dust off of him, and he's like wiping his hair back.
Yeah.
And Toe Cutter's acting like a cat. Like he's vibing with it. He's into it. I honestly think Johnny the boy is his little fuck buddy. Like the way he treats Johnny, he treats him differently than everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
He's very sentimental toward him.
You're a little handsy, too.
Yeah, I really got that vibe. I mean, there's the same. They have the same kind of thing in the next movie with two characters.
Okay.
It's like one of the things I read was George Miller puts a lot of queer allegories in his movies.
Because he's queer.
He might be.
I don't know if this was an allegory or just a, hey, it's right there, you can see it.
Yeah,
If you want to, you can
I
see
mean,
it.
it's the 70s, so they can't be too obvious with it because people would shit their pants. Well, I don't know. Maybe Australia was more chill about it. I don't know.
Mm-hmm. Maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah, I know they're not over in this
But
fucking
yeah.
country.
He was definitely rubbing the hell out of his fucking face and shit.
Yeah, and the man was just loving. He was like, oh, all he was missing was a
He was letting it happen.
yeah.
Some biscuits being made.
Yeah. Can you imagine Toe Cutter? He's got like his bedroll on the back of his bike, and he's just making biscuits as Johnny's rubbing his hair.
I guess he's the baby of the group. I mean, he is the baby.
Yeah, Johnny is a fairly new member.
Yeah.
So they go to the train or the man in the shorts tells Bubba Zanetti that if they want to collect the dead guy, that they're gonna have to talk to the agent.
Where was the dead body going originally before the bikers were collecting them?
It was going there. It gets dropped there.
And then what?
And then someone comes to collect it, the bikers.
Oh, so they really just gave him back to the bad guys? If I was them, I would have been like, we're keeping this body. This is our body now.
Well, they do that later.
But it was also just in a wheelbarrow, wasn't it?
It looked like it was just on like a big wagon or something.
Yeah.
But they also mentioned
literal meat wagon.
there's not much left of him.
Yeah.
So the coffin's kind of small. They gave him a kid's coffin.
Oh no.
But the guy tells him, you're going to talk to the agent. And they say, well, where's the agent? He goes, wait here. And the very next shot is them following the man in the shorts. But now he's got a clipboard and a hat.
Oh, I missed that.
He is the agent.
Gotcha.
And they're like, well, there's the coffin on the train platform. It's kind of small. Must have not been much left of him. Poor bastard. And Toe Cutter has this thing of he turns around real fast. And he puts his hands on either side of the guy's face. He goes, he's called the Night Rider. Remember that. When you look up at the night sky, think of the Night Rider. The Night Rider. And then the man says his name. And he has a line of, yeah, whatever you want. To which Toe Cutter responds, whatever I want. What a lovely philosophy. Get him out of here. Mm-hmm. And Johnny tries to get rough with him, but he's like, oh. No. So Johnny very easily, like, all right, I'll gently remove this man from the train platform. I was like, they're about to kill this fucking guy.
Right?
I really thought they were about to. But he sends everyone away, and then he's just chilling on the train platform. And this is where the gang starts to fuck up little wee Jerusalem. It starts off peaceful enough. They're kind of just like hanging out in the street. They're doing donuts. But then they start beating the shit out of the guy in the red jacket. Mm-hmm. And they chase him into a building, and then they throw him out the glass window. And the couple who were in the red car are like, let's get the fuck out of here before they, try to do something to us. And they peel out of there. And Toe Cutter's like, we're not leaving this party. And they start chasing the red car.
I swear they almost hit him on the way out, too.
Toe Cutter?
Yeah.
Oh, I missed that.
Because he was running up when they drove off. I swear they almost hit him on the way out.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
That might be why they ran him down.
Maybe.
Could be. I
Could
swear he was running. He came running back for some reason or another. And when the red car took off, they almost hit him because he was coming around that building. Might have to.
Might need to rewatch it.
Yeah, might need to bring it back up. But not necessarily that's the only reason that they chased him. But I swore that he was running around that building when they took off.
Okay. But when they do take off, that's when he tells everyone, hey, we got some people trying to get away. Let's go get them. And they chase down the red car. They start beating on all the sides of it with like meat cleavers and rods and bats, and they make them crash off the side of the road. And then they just start destroying this car. Like they smash the windows, the headlights, the roof. They puncture the radiator. They drag the couple out of the car, and then it cuts. And it cuts to Max and Goose on the side of the road with that couple on the trike. And there's a little sidecar, but the sidecar is like a enclosed little like capsule.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's a little bubble.
it looks like a Jetsons car.
Yeah.
It does, but it also like low key reminds me of Space Mountain for some reason.
Really?
Yeah, not Space Mountain. What's the one at Epcot's dome?
Mission Space?
No.
I forget.
Yeah, it reminds me of that, right?
Okay.
I don't know if I need to turn the volume down for this or not.
Spaceship Earth.
So right here, they're taking off. There's a guy running up that they almost hit. That guy's Toe Cutter.
Oh.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, but I thought he went running after them before they even actually took off.
I thought he was running up from because wasn't he still over there with the coffin?
Yeah.
And then for some reason or another, he comes running back.
I thought because he heard their car.
I don't think so.
Maybe, but it did definitely look like they almost hit him.
Yeah, because they hadn't even. He was already running back before they even cranked the car up to leave.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
Huh.
I think they heard him. He heard them yelling about Knight Rider or something like that, and then he comes running back, and almost gets run over by this person. And then for whatever reason, they're just like, "Hey, we're running him down." They almost ran me over.
But Max gets the call on the radio about something going on in Wee Jerusalem. So he and Goose leave, and this is where Goose has the get out of jail free card joke, which was an on-set gag. Mm-hmm. And when they pull up, the guy who was driving the red car is now running through a field, completely bottomless, Donald ducking it, but his ass is all red. Mm-hmm. This guy and the woman in the car were both sexually assaulted by this gang. But he runs off. They're like, "Hey, fella, what's wrong? You okay?"
Yeah.
Goose is calling him over the radio, and the guy just not responding. He just runs.
And insulting him.
Yeah. You turkey. But Max tells him, like, "Look, we'll come back for him later. There's more stuff up ahead." And they roll up, and they have completely ripped the car apart. Mm-hmm. Like, the doors are gone. The part of the roof is gone. They've ripped off the exhaust pipe, and it's laying across Johnny, because Johnny's laying there on the seats of the car in the middle of the street, completely tweaked out of his mind. And he's got a rope tied to his ankle, and the other end of that rope is tied to the neck of the woman who was in the car. And Goose unties the rope from his leg, and he goes to try to comfort the lady. And Max drags Johnny over to their interceptor, and Goose carries the girl over. He's put his coat around her, and they realize that Johnny is a member of the gang that was associated with Knight Rider, because he's talking about the Knight Rider.
Mm-hmm. Then it pans to the prison, right?
No, it goes to the gang is leaving now with the coffin.
That's right.
And I had some comment about, "Oh no, they've escalated. They stole a truck." Because Toe Cutter's in the bed of this truck with his bike, and he's got the coffin like laid across his lap.
Oh yeah.
And he tells Bubba and Eddie to go back
get Johnny.
for Johnny.
I did not realize that was the coffin. Mm-hmm. For some reason, my brain was like, "Wow, he has this weird little box with a cross," and I was like, "Discover Christianity within this moment, or what?"
He's turning his life around.
Yeah, I was like, "What a way."
It was a little tiny box.
Yeah. It was a small coffin. But Bubba actually tells him, he's like, "I'm not going back for Johnny. He's no good. He's not going to change. He's really fucked up this time." And Toe Cutter tells him, "No, you're not going back for Johnny. You're going back for me. I want you to do this." And Bubba tells him, like, "Look, it's a waste of time. He's not going to change." But he does it. He goes back, and he collects Johnny the boy. And I read this online, that the man who plays Toe Cutter, Hugh, every scene he's in, he changes the character's accent to show that he really is insane.
Couldn't tell.
You didn't notice?
No.
This is the only scene where I noticed distinctly that his voice was
because everybody's
different.
accent sounds like it's changing.
It was, the accents were fluctuating everywhere.
The missing eyebrow tipped me off that something was wrong.
Because I was like,
I couldn't figure it out.
Is man's wearing makeup? And Jerry's like, "Yo."
As soon as he popped up, I'm like, one of his eyebrows is gone.
Mm-hmm.
I just thought, he was feeling a vibe.
You got to do that intentionally.
He was definitely feeling a vibe.
Because there was no other damage around his face to show that's like he had hurt his face and lost his eyebrow somehow or another. I was like, nah, he just cut that off. He just decided that was going.
Oh, I also wrote down in my notes, when Goose is talking to the motorcycle couple on the side of the road, he was like looking real friendly at them. I think he was trying to angle a three-way.
Get in this swinger
Goose.
situation.
Goose is a free spirit.
Yeah, very.
Like all Goose
Geese?
characters. Geese characters?
I thought you meant actual geese. I was going to be
no.
like, oh, hold up now. Actual geese are horrible.
Serpent birds.
Yeah. Gang members, pretty much.
Mm-hmm. But then after Toe Cutter sends Bubba to get Johnny, then we cut back to the halls of justice.
There we go. Yes.
Meanwhile, Johnny's in chains. But Johnny's sitting there looking kind of comatose, and Goose is just sitting there throwing what look like coins at his helmet on the wall, missing every fucking one of them. And Charlie now has one of those voice box devices that you don't really see much anymore, where he has to hold it to his neck to
We
talk.
thought he was fucking around.
Yeah, at first. thought he was messing around, but then I was like, oh, that's because he got his throat cut.
Yeah, because it was like, oh, that's the guy that was in that car accident at the beginning of the movie.
I was hoping they would have pulled like a whisper situations where he would have just had to be like, yeah, it would have been like, just tell me a joke, you know?
Max, we gotta get this guy.
Yeah.
You imagine Whispers walks through this movie in that leather outfit?
Or just any black person, honestly.
True.
It's Australia.
This movie is
There are so many black people in Australia.
Are there?
Yes.
a lot of
Shout-outs.
colored individuals in this movie.
Or at least an Aboriginal, somebody, a Polynesian individual.
Shout outs to
No, this movie has,
our
No
brothers and
people
sisters
color.
in
This
movie
Australia.
has only white people. It's what?
Is
Those ain't bad.
Toe Cutter's white or right hand man? Isn't he?
Bubba Zanetti?
Yeah.
I don't know.
He is a person of color?
Could he
I don't
be in Moana?
No.
If the answer is no, then no.
Bubba Zanetti is played by Jeff Perry, by the way. Tim Burns plays Johnny the Boy.
Oh, maybe not.
Even the Wiggles were more diverse than this back in the day.
Wow.
The voice box thing. I remember they used to use them in songs. Actually, was it around that time?
79.
Yeah. As soon as I heard it, I was just like, "Oh, he's about to be he about to start making music."
About to be an MC.
In the
hip-hop
musical?
to the hip-
Not a musical. But yeah, I was just
Stop
like,
it.
George Miller, we got your next project.
Musical Mad Max.
Yep.
Supposedly he is working on a 6th movie.
Oh my goodness.
Musical Mad Max. Furiosa.
Jazz hands.
We're getting there.
But while Goose and Charlie are watching Johnny, three or four cars pull up, and it's Fifey, Max, Roop, and 2 guys in suits. And before they go in, Fifey tells Max, "I need you to be on top of Goose."
Max was not. Let's be
He
honest.
wasn't, but Max asked him why. What happened? And he says, "No contest." And that means no one substantiated. There was no one to claim that Johnny committed a crime.
Yeah, because nobody showed up.
The girl didn't show up. The guy didn't show up. No one in the town showed up. The bikers didn't show up. So they have no proof Johnny committed this crime. They have to cut him loose.
And no one decided to take pictures of the crime scene where Johnny was there.
But if no one said he did it, he was just some high dude stumbled across it. They had to find some way to get Johnny out of custody. So when they go inside, Goose is like, "Hey, what's going on?" And they're like, "Cut him loose. There's nothing we can hold him on." And Goose, this is Mad Goose. Goose is ready to fucking kill this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And rightfully so.
I'm with Goose on this one.
He went off the rails.
But Goose is like, got his baton and he's blocking the door. He's like, "That's my criminal. He's not walking out of here."
My favorite thing about this, though, is Goose is like his leg is still broken and he's limping and still dodging everybody coming for him.
Yeah.
This man, the agility on him is insane.
And fighting people. Like, people are trying to hold him back, and he's still just like, nah.
He crashed out.
One-legged.
He actually crashed out.
Yeah.
But they keep letting him go.
Yes.
Like, Fifey is a big guy. He's got him. Max has him. He's like, I'm okay. I'm good. They let him go. And he rushes at him again.
Well, Johnny was talking smack a little bit.
Johnny was running his fucking mouth.
And the lawyers were also kind of...
They weren't helping.
No.
Yeah, they weren't helping it.
No one was trying to get Johnny out of that building fast enough.
Yeah.
This is the worst lawyers in the
Yeah,
world.
like, why are y'all not shuffling this guy out of here? Y'all are just antagonizing these cops.
Yeah, he says one thing once they get to the door. I forget exactly what it is, but it finally sets Goose off. And Goose throws him against a car, throws him to the ground, and just starts wailing on him.
Yep.
Yeah.
And the whole time this is happening, Bubba Zanetti's out right outside the gate. Bubba's ready to collect Johnny. And Johnny says, "We know who you are, Bronze."
Mm-hmm.
And Goose has this line of, and he says this very angrily. He is so red when he says this. He goes, "We'll see you on the road, Skag." And they finally get Johnny out of there. And Fifey, this is where Fifey has that line of, "Look, boys, as long as the paperwork's clean, I don't care what you do out there."
Oh, didn't I look up Skag?
Mm-hmm.
Scumbag.
Really? They could.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's short for scumbag.
Oh, okay.
It's also a term for heroin, though. So don't.
They're
I was
high.
like, yeah.
Both.
Oh.
White?
Yeah.
Heroin definitely isn't white.
Really? I've never seen heroin. I don't know what heroin looks
They
like.
also it's also called that sweet Mexican brown.
Is heroin in Mexico?
Heroin can be everywhere.
Oh.
So yeah.
It looks like what's that sugar?
Brown sugar.
Brown sugar?
No, it is brown, but there's a specific kind
The
of
raw
sugar.
sugar?
No. So after they collect Johnny the boy, it shows our gang is now hanging out at the beach, and they have Toe Cutter wrapped in a blanket. He looks like a
trauma victim?
yeah. It looks like he's got one of those metal blankets on.
Is it Jaggery or Muscovado?
No, it's Demerara sugar.
Ah.
What's that?
Wow, that word is literally at the top of this search bar right here. And
That's the what I'm thinking of. Okay, so while they have Toe Cutter wrapped in this emergency blanket, I think it's Mudguts and Kundaligi.
Cunnilingus.
No.
Lingy.
Cannoli.
Kundalini are playing with this mannequin,
Yes.
and
This poor mannequin.
Mudguts is like making out with it, but
That's
Kundalingi's like, no, she likes me more.
It was a weird looking mannequin too.
It was very weird. And then Toe Cutter fires this shotgun, and it's right next to his fucking ear. And when I saw that, I was like, this man's deaf the rest of this fucking movie.
Maybe he was already partially deaf.
He had to have been. But he says something about, oh yeah, she's not what she seems. I have reason to believe she was sent here by the bronze, to,
Spy on us.
spy on us. And he tells Mudguts, get away from there. And Kundalini, I am struggling, put her up against the post. Bubba Zanetti is going to take care of her. And before Bubba Zanetti can shoot her,
Johnny comes with the gun and starts blasting Danny DeVito style.
yeah, he grabs the shotgun from Toe Cutter and he shoots the mannequin twice. And he says, if you're going to kill Bronze, you got to do it big. And Bubba Zanetti has some line about, you're never really going to learn, are you dipshit? Something like that. And this is the moment where I got the feeling of something going on between Toe Cutter and Johnny, because he like puts his arm around him and he carries him out. He walks him out into the water, and he says something about keep your sweet, sweet mouth shut.
Mm-hmm. Oh, he also has a hand full of his hair.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, like a hand
And
full of this dude's
he
hair.
puts the barrel of the shotgun in his mouth.
Yep.
And then they just have their arms wrapped around each other and they walk out into the water.
And then I thought Johnny was going to die. I thought,
I
well,
thought he was gonna go drown him.
Yeah, I
There
was
were
like,
so many times I thought that.
I was like, this is the last time we see Johnny.
Also, a trivia piece that Etta found, apparently he cut his mouth when he stuck that shotgun in his mouth.
Oh yeah.
That'd do it.
Oh.
Yeah.
I also found a piece of trivia that the guy who plays Johnny the Boy was very into character, and everyone hated him.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it.
There's a scene.
They left him handcuffed.
Yeah, when he gets handcuffed near the end of the movie, they left him there after a lunch break
Yeah.
because they were
He's
just so
being
fucking
so-
sick of him.
It's so fucking annoying.
That's pretty bad when your coworkers are like, fuck it, just gonna leave you right there.
He
We know where
probably
you
could have
are.
broke because they were just toy handcuffs too. They weren't actual handcuffs. They were toy handcuffs.
Okay.
So they probably could have broke them. But I guess somebody would have had to go buy some new ones. Since
They
there's-
can't afford that.
They can't.
Not with this budget.
They can't afford more toy handcuffs.
Right.
I feel like this budget was maybe like $500 and like maybe a McDonald's gift card.
No, because they had to spend. Mel Gibson was paid $10,000,
Too much.
and then the car, the Interceptor, the new Interceptor was $35K.
Too much.
Damn.
So they spent thrice the amount on the car than Mel Gibson.
So the budget for the movie was approximately 400,000 Australian dollars.
And
American dollars, it would be about 350,000.
is that in today's money or?
This doesn't say on here. It just says those numbers, so I'm gonna guess it's
Back then times money,
back then times money.
which would be
A couple million today.
top dollar today. So they had a huge budget,
It was
Rolling
not
in it.
huge.
massive.
Not for
budget.
them destroying cars left and right. And where did they get the missile? Better
Oh,
question.
the rocket
Yeah.
that they tied to the Knight Rider's car.
Yeah.
Good
Somebody
question.
knew a guy. So he's not drowning Johnny. That's where we were.
Yep.
Well, after he's done not drowning Johnny, or the scene cuts to a nightclub, and Goose is in there watching this singer, and again, this singer reminded me of somebody. The singer made me think of Shelley Duvall
Looked
from The
just like
Shining.
looked just like a contemporary Shelley Duvall.
And she's making eyes at Goose, and Goose is
Loving it.
every second of it.
Mm-hmm. He's mesmerized.
This is the most, not modern day, but 70s vibe.
This
God.
particular scene
Yeah.
I think I said that when we were watching it.
Mm-hmm.
This is the one part of the movie that felt 70s to me.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's the clothing she's wearing, the way the little club looks on the inside.
That microphone.
Mm-hmm.
That song was awful.
Oh, yeah.
Wasn't it?
It's pretty bad.
He's going to have to get somebody else to write the music. For the
Her
musical.
singing voice was well, but I don't know what the hell she was singing.
Something about Licorice Road. That's all I remember. But at the same time, while the singing is going on and Goose is giving me fuck me eyes, we cut to the parking lot, and someone's out in the parking lot fucking with Goose's bike. And the next shot is Goose putting his uniform back on. He's leaving, presumably, the singer's house. And she has a creepy little doll nailed to her bedroom door.
Oh, is that where he was?
Yeah, I thought so.
Okay. That makes more sense.
We never saw the woman in the bed. We never saw her face. We just saw her naked body laying on the bed. But I assumed it was the singer.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, the two of them were looking at each other.
That's fair. But yeah, I did see the baby on the door.
Yeah, that was creepy.
Yep.
He gets on his bike, and he does one of the most asshole things. It looks like it's super early in the morning. This man revs this fucking motorcycle to be as loud as possible in this scene, waking up everybody on the street, and just takes off. And we have this long scene of him just riding around the roads, going fast as fuck on this bike, but not another car around, so he can just turn her loose. And then he goes around this turn, and his rear wheel just locks up. And Goose goes fucking flying. And miraculously, not injured.
Yeah, he lands in a pile of grass, like tall grass.
I thought he was going to be fucked up.
I thought so too.
I
was
thought,
like,
his name's Goose, breaking a neck.
yeah, that's
Yep.
fair.
He did get ejected from his vehicle.
Yeah.
Exactly, and I was like, yep, all right, we're hitting Top Gun.
But he gets up and he's completely unscathed.
Well, not completely unscathed. He is a little, out of it.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but he's not
He's not hurt.
hurt.
Yeah.
You couldn't tell he got thrown from, a motorcycle.
No, going as fast as he was. And he grabs the radio on his bike, trying to call into the HQ, and it's completely
It's
detached.
detached, yeah.
He's
Definitely
like,
a
"Oh,
concussion, for sure.
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
he manages to walk back to town, and he meets someone. I didn't write down this character's name, but this guy lends Goose a truck. He loads his motorcycle onto it, and the guy's like, "Man, I'm surprised you didn't even get a scratch." And he says something about never bet against the goose.
Mm-hmm.
And Goose tells him, I'll have it back to you. What's he say? Tomorrow or by the end of the week. And as he's now driving in this truck with his motorcycle, he's singing some song that's just la la loo la loo la. And we see the gang are on top of this big mound of dirt, and Johnny hucks looks like a rotor for a car tire, smack through the windshield of this car, and Goose crashes again. And the car just is tumbling over itself, and they run up to it, and there's gasoline leaking out. And Toe Cutter pulls out a joint, and he tells Johnny to light it, and he hands him a match. And Johnny strikes the match on the front of his coat, lights it, and he's like, light another one.
And Johnny, being the simpleton that he is, did not see where this was going.
Yeah, because he's like, I didn't want this. I don't... look at him. He's upside down, confused. Also, go ahead, sorry.
And at this point, Goose is trying to get out.
Barely.
Not trying very hard, but trying to get out.
This man had so much time to get out.
He might
or
be
grab his gun.
Incredibly disoriented. There's no telling.
That's
To be
fair.
This is
That's
probably the second concussion he's gotten in 2 hours.
Well, in his first crash, he was lucky enough to have a helmet on. In this one, he's got a seatbelt around one shoulder, which did a really good job of keeping him in that car.
True.
But there was something I totally missed. When he first leaves the lady's house and he gets on his bike, Johnny is laid down in a car and he sits up to watch Goose leave. And Johnny does this really fucking stupid thing where he takes the lighter that he wears around his neck
Oh, yeah.
and he puts it to his arm, and then he's surprised it burned.
Which
He's
was weird.
Ooh, hot. Like, he never had that moment as a kid of grabbing the eye of a stove. Ooh,
I
warm. Fire.
also have never touched the eye of a stove.
I have.
That's the first thing I always think of is the eye of a
Oh.
stove.
I don't think. Yeah, no, I don't never touch a stove. I stuck my hand inside the oven before. That was.
There you go.
Yeah. How old were we, Etta? How old were we? when
I
this
was
relation-
drunk.
All right, I would like to say, when she said how old were we, I was thinking you guys were children.
Was that when you?
You
were
just
cooking
said you
that
were
time?
drunk, so I know you were an adult.
This
Is that when
was
you were
like
cooking that
3
time?
years ago.
And I was just like, "What are you doing?"
The music was bopping and great that day.
Wow.
So
I
anyway,
was not paying attention.
yeah, man's
anyway.
burned his arm. Goose wrecked twice.
So-
Now we're watching him struggle to get out of this truck.
Yep.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and
And then Toe Cutter wouldn't let him light his joint with his lighter.
yeah, he made him use
He
that match.
made him use the match.
Yep.
But he was still not tracking where it was going.
Yeah, and
With as close as they're touching or talking, though, the match could have went out.
It
Oh,
didn't.
that match went out in his hand.
Yeah.
There's no freaking way.
As small as it was and as
Yeah.
close as they were talking, oh yeah.
you're out in open air like that, the wind is going to blow out a match.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
There's a good chance it's going to blow out a lighter. But he tells him, throw it. It's the bronze. They want to take our freedom from us. They they're our enemy. And Johnny's like, I don't want to do that. And he tells him, you're pathetic. You're soft. And he finally does. He throws that match, and Goose gets cooked.
It just lights up. But we don't hear any like graphic screaming or anything like that.
Yeah, nothing like that.
It's
It's
not-
literally like flame in front of Jim, and then we cut to Max in his car riding to the hospital, and we see him running up the stairs, and the other guys from the unit are there. I want to say that Sars and Scuttle are pretty much out of this movie.
Mm-hmm.
We never really see them again after that first crash with chasing the Knight Rider.
Yeah.
But it's got Roop, Charlie, and Fifey are there. And Max tries to go into Goose's room, and Fifey's trying to hold him back.
Mm-hmm.
And he's under, like, I think it's an oxygen tent.
I saw it and I was very confused. I was like, why is he under the sheet with the tablet? I was like, are they trying to keep him entertained?
Homie said tablet.
Yeah,
Tablet in 1979. A tablet.
I was very confused.
Were you also? You know what? Anyway, yeah.
By this point, I was over this movie. But
She was.
Did you have a drink?
by that point, yeah, I think I was like 3 drinks deep.
No. Okay. And one of you were just like, "Homie got the tablet under the blanket."
Yeah, I was like,
At some point, she gave up.
Yeah.
She was just like, I can't.
yeah,
It's okay. Never been kissed. I think the first 30 minutes I was like that.
yeah.
I almost turned it off like 3 times. Anyway,
But when
he was under an oxygen tent.
that's what I think it was called.
What the hell's an oxygen tent, though?
I think it just, like, keeps you away from the environment outside you. Like,
But wasn't
the
his
air in
hand?
there
His
is
hand
clean.
was out though, wasn't it?
Well, his hand falls out.
Yeah.
But it might not,
Not-
be. It might not be called an oxygen tent.
'Cause I was like,
He's just in a his hospital bed is fully covered
Yeah.
in a white tent.
Probably has to be, though, because he has no protection from anything.
Yeah.
So
And
that-
he's a
Would have
crispy
been better
critter.
just to kill him, honestly. As
Wow,
crisp as he was.
no.
Like, he looked like Anakin at the end of Revenge of the Sith.
That's not what we do.
Like,
Help me!
yeah. Like, at that point, he might as well just been like, I have the high ground. Like,
I've got the high ground now, Goose.
But they never actually say whether he dies or not, do they?
No, we never get.
I presumed he was dead.
Might as well be, because
I'm surprised he survived
He's not riding a motorcycle again, that's for
because that
sure.
the gasoline was dripping. They threw the fire on him. They left.
Yeah.
So for him to survive that, I'm just like, what?
Because, you know,
How?
it's going to take time for... There's no cell phones. So, yeah, by the time someone finds him, he had to be dead.
Yeah, I was like, how did he survive that?
Yeah.
They left him on fire.
They have to have this incredibly gruesome 1-second shot of his hand coming out, and he does look like Anakin Skywalker, all burned up.
Yeah.
At the end of episode 3.
So apparently that wasn't his hand. It was actually the hand of the lady with the shotgun later on.
The old lady?
Yeah. I don't know why they... That's what I read somewhere.
Huh?
That it wasn't his hand, it was
Not
her.
the actual actor's hand.
Yeah.
That's weird. But when the hand falls out, Max finally is like, all right, I need to see Goose.
He can't read the room. This hand is burnt to a crisp.
Guess what the rest looks like? He very nervously grabs the cover and he pulls it back, and it does this amazing like water effect dissolve, because it's just his face looking kind of concerned, and then this music key hits and it dissolves and he's got a horrified look on his face, and he runs out of the room. And this is where he has a very insensitive line of,
"That thing's not Goose." And I was like, damn,
he's not dead. He's just burned up. He's not pretty anymore. That's not Goose. My Goose is attractive.
You know who he reminds me of outside of Anakin from episode 3?
No.
He reminds me of Mike Myers at the end of oh god, is it not Mike Myers? The one at the camp.
Jason Voorhees?
Yes, Jason Voorhees at the end of the first one where he comes out the thing out of the water
and grabs the girl.
Yes, looks a lot like that.
Well, I mean, you can only get that from the hand, because we, as the viewer, or at least in the version we watched, we never saw anything but Goose's hand. But holy shit, cooked up. Looks like a piece of charcoal.
Yeah,
yes,
he's toasted.
Some really burnt beef that's been left on a grill, forgotten for a little bit.
Bad. You got Hank Hill walk in and go, "You don't get that with propane." But then after he leaves, after insulting Goose, he has a nightmare, and Jesse wakes up the next morning and he's not in their bed, and he's sitting down by the water on their beach house. And this is where I realized it was like an open air house, because their bedroom is literally just like a porch down to the beach. I would love to go here just for one night, just experience this house.
That could be a good little week vacation.
Yeah, it looks like a nice little vacation home.
They left the baby inside with the gun to protect the homestead.
Yeah.
They were always leaving this baby.
You barely see the baby, but that one time we did see him, he was strapped.
The couple times we see the baby, that baby, it stays locked and loaded.
Baby's first gun.
For real.
But he's shook. He's very shooken by the shaken. By what happened with Goose. And
is he like down on the beach eating a peanut butter sandwich or something?
Oh yeah, he said he was hungry. He had a peanut butter and honey, and Jeremy's just like, "No, that's just 2 pieces of bread."
It really did look like just 2 pieces of bread.
Yeah. Couldn't afford the peanut butter in that budget.
It's just like,
it's probably the same bread they used from that shot when he was making breakfast earlier.
Oh god,
because he just has 2 slices of bread.
Yeah, it sure was.
It's like, I made a peanut butter and honey. I was like, there ain't nothing in that sandwich.
That sandwich is dry. Don't you lie to me, Max. There's nothing in there.
You're kind of sandwich, though.
I do like a peanut butter sandwich, but my sandwiches, unlike Max's, actually have peanut butter in them. This is just like 2 pieces of dry wheat bread.
Oh,
and he took 1 bite out of it. But Jesse kind of comforts him here, and this is where he heads back to the Hall of Justice.
There you go. Yes.
And Faffy's up there.
I feel like you pronounced this man different.
I did. I keep saying Faffy. I'm sorry. Fifey.
Where's this Faffy coming from?
I don't know. It's a little faff.
I love this scene where he's watering the plants.
I do like this. Well, you like plants. That's what you liked about
There's
it.
a shit ton of plants.
And the leather.
But also
the leather
pants, no shirt, black scarf.
You better believe.
Jeremy, you know what you got to do this weekend for Valentine's Day.
Where the hell am I getting leather pants?
I could give you some people's numbers.
But the good news is the plants are already there.
They're already there. And
the plants are
all
already
the
there.
watering cans.
I think you're going to have a hard time finding that scarf. I don't think I've ever seen one look that nice. But he also has a bunch of chains on underneath the scarf.
Yeah.
This man looks like he's fresh off of a set of a Village People music video.
I don't know what the hell was going on.
I don't know, but I like this scene because I like Fifey.
Yeah.
I don't know what music he was listening to, but Mans was just vibing.
Oh, he was having a good fucking time.
Yeah.
And Max basically goes to him, and not basically, but Max goes to him to turn in his resignation letter. And
up this set of stairs
that are so fucking narrow.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how are they having this conversation? They're so close together on these stairs. There's barely any room to go past anybody.
Right.
But Fifey tells them like, "Nah, you're not doing that." But Max is saying, "Look, I didn't come here to talk. I came here to give you my resignation letter. I gave it to you. I'm leaving." And he goes, "Look, give me a couple weeks, or take a couple weeks off to think about it.
Grow a beard."
Yeah. Grow yourself a beard. And he goes, "If you still feel that way when you come back, I'll leave with you." Or no, not I'll leave with you. It's
I'll let you leave.
I'll let you leave. But he says, now get out of here. Otherwise, I'm going to leave with you. But Max is telling him, like, look, and we talked about this earlier, I'm starting to become the thing we're fighting against. I'm starting to like it out there. And it's scaring me.
He's like, I'm starting to like the streets, like the killing.
Yeah. And Fifey even says, like, look, so the goose bought it. All right? I get why you're shaken up. But he lived fast. You knew it was coming.
Mm-hmm.
Not helping the situation.
He said you would have been one of the first people to say he was long overdue for that happening to him.
He really lived fast, died young. Bad girls do it well.
We don't have confirmation Goose is dead. Okay. He just looks like the goose from the end of Muppet Christmas Carol.
Mm.
But Fifey again has that line of people don't believe in heroes anymore, but you stay on the force, we're going to give them their heroes back.
What hero is this? Homelander?
And then Max was just like, he said something about.
You think I'm going to believe that crap?
Yeah, like you think I'm about to buy that? He's like, it sounded good though, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like Fifey.
Hey, like I really had you going, didn't I?
Sadly, this is the last scene we get with Fifey.
Oh yeah.
All the other cops are out of this movie after this scene.
No more cops.
And then this turns into a weird family movie for a little bit.
Doesn't it?
It turns into a road trip movie.
It turns into Christmas Vacation without the hijinks.
Oh no, there's some fucking hijinks.
There's a couple
because
hijinks.
When they're on the road trip, for the first few things we see them doing, we only see Max and Jesse. We don't see Sprague anywhere.
Yeah, and I was like, where's the baby?
Right?
We see them stop on the side of the road. They buy a puppy.
Mm-hmm.
We see them have like a little jaunt through a field. And Max was carrying a bunch of shit in his hands. I thought maybe he was carrying the baby. But then he just throws the shit. And I was like, oh, no. Oh, I don't think that was the kid.
I feel like they forgot about the baby for a second. And then they're like, oh, shit, there's a baby.
But then they go to a swimming hole. They're swimming in this pond. Still no baby anywhere.
Nope.
You can see like they have like a little blanket laid out for like a picnic. And there's some baby's toys. But there's no baby.
Baby's in the
The baby's in the car with the gun.
Yeah, baby's in the car with a gun.
And what is wild? Because like this whole time I had been making jokes about that baby and the gun. And then I was like they put the baby in the trunk eventually. And then they pull out the gun. I was like, oh my God, this baby had a gun the entire time.
The baby was actually in the car with a gun.
Yep.
No seatbelt.
Nope.
No car seat because this is a 2-seater car. It's like a little wagon.
Mm-hmm.
Big hatchback door, but they do have a very nice space themed mural on both sides of it.
They do.
Yes.
Looking hip as hell.
But that baby just be rolling.
Mm-hmm.
Just crawling around in that back seat with the dog and the gun.
Yeah, but after they go swimming, they're laying there, and Max has this little monologue about he's never been able to tell Jessie how he really feels about her, and he figured she understood that.
Which is wild.
They have a fucking kid,
And they're married.
presumably.
I thought they were.
I don't think they ever.
You don't get confirmation.
Oh no, we do. We do. Later in the hospital scene, the nurse refers to him as the husband.
Oh, okay.
But how do you not fucking know? You went through the whole process of making this kid, going through the pregnancy, having this kid. This kid's got to be getting close to 2 years old.
Getting married.
Yeah, the marriage. Let's not forget that one.
Yeah. How do you not tell your wife how you feel about her?
To be fair,
Uh-huh.
at no point did you ever ask me to be your girlfriend. How do I know if I'm actually your girlfriend?
We're cutting this out. Oh,
Because I tattooed it on the bottom of your foot.
Thank you, Andy.
Yeah. Property of Adam.
we can keep it now.
So,
I don't know. I guess it's dystopian. You just do things.
Yeah,
and-
people just doing
And
things.
then think about them later.
kids, look.
There's a line.
Maybe he was like, you want to get married, but never actually told her how he felt. She just assumed, you know?
They were like in a relationship for like a couple years. Went to high school, went to cop school, cop college, and was like, he was like, got out. He's like, I don't know how much longer I have left on the force. Let's get married. She's like, good, I'm already pregnant. And
Something.
We're
Never
gonna name him Sprague.
gonna name this month Sprago or something. I don't know.
yeah.
We'll name it later. We'll just call him Sprague for now.
Fucking Sprague.
Sprague.
And he was like, great. And then a year later, while they're laying on this beach, he's like, hey, I never told you I loved you. That's true, by the way.
He never says it here either.
Oh, well.
Nope. Sure
Damn.
He
doesn't.
doesn't say it here. It's another thing of she's like, I know what you mean.
It's like Han Solo, where Leia's like, I love you, and he's like,
I
I know.
But in this situation, she's like, I love you. And he's like, I know.
Or a soldier. The baby's a soldier too. With
They
his
do
gun.
have a gun.
Yeah.
Sprog is an informal British term for a child or a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah, we looked that up
Yeah.
earlier.
I was not
Did
paying
you miss
attention.
that? Oh my gosh. But it also says an enlisted soldier as well, I think.
Homie had 2 guns.
Baby Sprog's got a gun.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so I was spacing. Moving on forward.
Well, he also in this moment is he tells Jesse about this story about his dad, where he's really proud that it was his dad, and he remembers going on walks with him, and his dad had these brown shoes. And it's just a memory that really stuck out to him.
That was great, because it was like, I remember the fancy shoes. They were brown.
Right?
And I was like, brown fancy shoes.
That was my exact line. I was like, yes, those special shoes that were brown.
Also, this was just random. This whole...
Etta,
moment.
Everything
Mo-
about this fucking movie is random.
Yeah. However...
I've seen Muppet movies that have more cohesion than this.
Several.
At
Yes.
least the first 75% of the movie kind of went together. This is just like...
This is a separate movie.
Yeah,
We could cut out a lot of this road trip.
Yeah.
for real.
We could just show some scenes of them in the car driving. They have a scene of the two of them like in the front seat laughing and talking as they're driving. We could show them
With the baby and the gun in the backseat.
baby in the gun in the back seat. We could
Protecting
show them-
the car.
We could show them going swimming in that pond, and then we can just cut to the shop where they're trying to get a new tire.
Yeah.
Boom, we've cut 5 minutes out of this film.
Yeah.
So they roll up to a little garage, and they are trying to get a new tire because they had a little blowout a while back.
It's amazing they found this place, honestly.
And then
Randomly on Fury
wasn't
Road.
he trying to buy... Or he was trying to sell them something, right?
Something like
Or
that,
buy
yeah.
the car. Or,
He was trying
I
to do
don't-
more work on the car than it needed. And
Yeah.
Max is like, no, just the tire. As Max is getting that new tire, Jesse says something about Sprog talked me into getting him some ice cream.
Oh, Sproggle.
So we're gonna and the guy at the
This is-
mechanic is like, yeah, there's a good place up the road. I'm sure they would appreciate the business.
This is a Kimberly Jordan special of, oh, yes, the children want this. So I also want this.
Sounds like
And
it,
then
yeah.
she gets it. And
Good
we're
job.
like, sure, yeah, that sounded like a great idea, Mom.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Sproggle.
So she goes to get this ice cream, and as she rolls into this little beach town, who the fuck would happen to be there but our menacing biker gang? And one of the guys is like, "Oh, there's dinner's on the menu, and it's my favorite kind, female."
But they also talk about and dessert because they
And
reference
dessert.
the child too. And I'm like, ugh, no.
Yeah,
No.
yeah. These guys are fucking creeps. But she goes in to get her. Oh, but before that, I'm sorry. It shows this great shot of Toe Cutter sitting up, and it's like he starts on his back with his legs straight up in the air, and he slings himself forward to sit upright on this beach to lock eyes onto Jesse and the baby. And then when they are coming out with their ice cream, they're being followed by a few of the guys in the gang, and Mudguts is on the roof making the cat noises.
Mm-hmm.
Cat calling.
Yeah, literal cat calling. Yeah,
Literal cat calling.
I didn't even think about
Yeah.
it.
But he's also like crawling along the roof like a cat from Cats, which also made me
Cat
think
calling.
like a musical. I was like, ah.
And when Jesse goes to put Sprog in the car, Toe Cutter runs up without saying anything, and he opens the back hatch for her, and she just throws the baby in the back of the
Yeets
car
it in there.
Literally.
with the gun. The gun is in the back.
He's got to protect the home front.
And she goes to get into the driver's side, and he opens that door for her. But he also like grabs her ice cream and starts licking on her ice cream. And she's like smiling at him a little bit, gives him a second, and then she just hits him in the crotch.
Mm-hmm.
Then she jumps in her car and she's driving away. The gang is chasing after her, and
On foot.
yeah, they're on foot. And Kundalini throws a chain that grabs the top rack of the car, and I thought he was going to swing on like a pirate, but he just gets slung right off.
Mm-hmm.
And she gets back to the garage. She tells Max, "Get in the car."
Max is taking too long to follow instructions.
He's like, "What's wrong?"
He's asking too many questions.
Just get in the car. Come on, get in the car. And they take off, and the mechanic's like, "What about your tire?" And not long after that, Toe Cutter and I want to say it's Bubba Zanetti roll up and they're asking, did you see a wagon come through here? And the guy's like, yeah, there's some couple with a kid. I think they're heading north, maybe. Because that's what Max told him when they first got there. Because he was making conversation, asking where they were going. And
this is a lesson of never tell people your business.
Don't tell anyone where you're going on a road trip.
Yeah, lest bikers come after you.
Mm-hmm. But they roll up to another pond, and the dog jumps out, and Jesse's telling Max that this weird guy was in town and scared me. And the dog is investigating something behind the car, and when Jesse goes to look at it, she's like, oh, what do you got there? And pulls up this chain, and it's Kundalini's hand. Just got ripped right the fuck off. And they hop in the car again, and they drive, and they meet a guy named Ziggy. And Ziggy basically tells them, like, look.
Yeah, that's a hand right there.
It's lost property if no one claims it. So I'm going to take this. Don't even worry about it.
Right.
Do you think he has plans for the hand?
God, I hope not. But Max agrees with him, like, look, if Ziggy's not worried about it, I'm not worried about it. And they're trying to comfort Jesse, but they really should have been worried about it.
Yeah.
Then I think the next thing is they head to May's house. This big, like, ranch home. And apparently this was an abandoned property.
That May just overtook?
No, it's an actual abandoned property. Oh. The cast and crew of the movie put their own personal furniture in the house to make it look like someone lived there. It's like that shot we see of when May brings Jesse into the house later. Mm-hmm. That all belonged to everyone who worked on the movie. That was their actual stuff.
It's like, yeah, I got a couch. Yeah, I have a recliner.
I got some blankets.
So the people who made this movie were really passionate about it.
Committed. Mm-hmm. At May's house, Jesse is getting ready to go down to the beach. Sprague is playing under the tree next to the wagon, their red car, and Max is working on the car. And she's telling him, don't put your greasy hands on me. She's under the hood, being kind of sarcastic about, you tighten down that jiggly thing right there, and you attach it to this thing over here.
The battery's where it's supposed to be.
The battery is where it's supposed to be. Exactly. I once asked Erica where her battery was in her car, if it was in the front, the back, under one of the seats, and that was her response.
And you know what it was?
It's
exactly
where it's supposed to be.
Was where it's supposed to be.
And Max does the thing again that she did to him earlier, where she does the circle around the head and the point at the face and the hands. I'm crazy about you. But May tells Jesse, hey, if you see, I think she calls him Benno. Mm-hmm. She's like, hey, don't worry about it. He's just a baby. Her son.
Yeah, that was not great context.
No.
I was like, who is Benno?
Yeah. But she goes down to the beach with the dog, and this is a fucking hike.
Yeah.
She is trekking on her way to Mordor the way it
No,
seems.
for real. It is insane how far she walks. Because, like, you can see from where she is by the house, you can see the forest line. That's a good clip away. And then she has this crazy walk through the forest, and then she has this walk down to this beach. There's no way I'd be walking this. I'd be taking a car.
Not by myself.
It's just her and this puppy. And so they make their adventure to the beach, and she goes swimming, and then she's laying down for a little beach nap, and the dog wanders off. And when she wakes up, she's kind of like, oh, the dog is gone. Well, I better head back to the house. But we also saw when she got to the beach, the bikers rolled up. Mm-hmm. We got a shot of their motorcycles. And as she's walking back through the woods, she starts like hearing weird noises. She starts seeing people ducking behind trees off in the distance. We hear the dog crying. I had turned subtitles on, and that's what it told me.
It said dog screaming.
Screaming.
Because you also had to turn the subtitles on?
I always have subtitles on.
Yeah, they were already on.
I always have subtitles on. It doesn't even matter. Yeah. And then you weren't even paying attention because you're just
when
like...
you saw it pop, when I saw it pop up.
Yeah,
because I was waiting on something to happen to her. Although at this point, I thought something was already going to happen to her, like way before this. I thought it was going to happen when she went to get the ice cream. I was just like, she's dead.
You and me both.
Yeah, I thought the exact same thing.
As soon as she was like, I'm going to get ice cream, I was like, she's dead.
I feel like it's probably when it should have happened.
But yeah.
We really didn't need this.
No.
Back to the farm and the walking through the woods.
So
There's
she
a
takes
whole lot
off
of
running.
Yeah.
But before she takes off running, she sees they hung the dog's body from a tree.
That poor dog.
That happened when she was running.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
They took the time out to kill the dog and hang it.
Yeah, in front of where she was going. They knew she was going to pass it.
Yeah, because she was.
What if she didn't?
If she wouldn't have
But
seen
yeah,
it,
she's
she
running
would have
and
never found
running and running and falling and looking behind her. I hate
gotta look
that.
behind you,
Anyway, and
She
then,
eventually drops everything.
right, and then yeah, she tosses, and then she's running, and then there's the dog, what's left of it, hanging, and I was just like, and then Jeremy's like, "Was that the dog?" And I'm like, "Yes."
it. I didn't get a good look
that
at
was
it.
the dog.
It is a very
screaming.
quick glimpse of it, but it's like bloodied and brown, like the dog.
Yeah.
Baby.
Yeah, I thought that was fucked up. Everything else in this movie, that was fucked up, killing the dog.
And then she runs up the hill and then runs into Beano
Yeah.
with his little grin. His
He's
little toothless grin.
he's a
He looks like he could be in Of Mice and Men, the brother.
They just threw him in there. I don't even know what he.
this character does nothing. It adds nothing to the movie.
Nothing.
But he's gigantic.
Huge.
But he is slow. So he's like a big baby.
Right.
But again, it does nothing for the movie. This character doesn't need to exist. He
It
literally
owed somebody a favor for sure.
probably. But he follows Jesse back to the house. She tells them, there's someone in the woods. She was scared. May takes Jesse into the house. Max grabs the shotgun out of the back of the wagon, and he runs towards the woods, and Benno follows him.
Yeah.
He literally just follows someone from the woods, back to the woods, back from the woods.
And Sprague is still just chilling on that blanket.
When Max ran to the woods and Jesse went inside, I said out loud, "Who is watching the fucking baby?"
That was my main question this whole movie.
And then, like, my second thought after that was, they didn't leave the gun with him either.
He's unarmed.
Yeah. It was like,
He
they
can't defend
de-armed
himself.
the baby?
To be fair, when she left, Max was there and May was there with a gun.
Yeah.
So, but still.
They each had a gun. No one left a gun with poor Sprague. And if they had, that baby would still be alive.
May comes strapped in a few
Oh my
minutes.
gosh. She turns into Aunt May from Spider-Man, ready to blast people away.
Too bad her aim is terrible.
Yeah.
Well, as Max tells May, "Hey, bring Jesse inside." He has a line. He says, "Call the Dark One."
Yeah.
May takes her inside. She gets on the phone, and presumably to the Dark One. And the Dark One is the character I mentioned earlier that 90% of his material was cut. He's the guy that had his face ripped off in Goose's story.
Oh, okay.
He was supposed to be like another cop.
He's supposed to be Max's partner because apparently on the side of Max's car it says the Dark One.
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that's cool.
Right?
But apparently he was supposed to be a very stoic character, but also his interactions with Max and Jesse are supposed to portray that he's very affectionate toward them. But he's not supposed to talk a lot. He's supposed to wear a mask
Because he
Okay.
had
shit.
no face.
because his face was fucked up. It was mostly I believe they said his nose had been ripped off. But that's who the Dark One is, and sadly this is pretty much all that's left of his character.
Right.
They completely cut him out. He was also supposed to be the one that Ziggy was on the phone with when Ziggy came to collect the hand.
Okay.
Yeah,
Because he was going to do something with the hand.
I guess. So sadly, we didn't get to see any of that, which I think it would have been interesting
It
to
would
see.
have been.
But as Jessie is sitting there on the couch, she's like calming herself down. Okay. Oh shit! I have a baby. And she runs
Worst mother.
outside. And this property is pretty goddamn big, but also she finds Sprague, but now he's got some company. He's hanging out with his new biker gang buddies, and he doesn't like them. They don't like guns. Sprague loves guns. And they're holding the baby, and it really looks like there's just some abandoned factory on the back of May's property.
Yep.
Yep.
And Toe Cutter is basically telling her, like, that guy right there, that's Kundalini, and he wants his hand back. She's like, I don't have it. She's like, can I have my baby back?
I have these two hands attached to me.
This is all I got, man. But he's like, oh yeah, you're just a pretty face. What would you do when that runs out? And she's like, can I have my baby, please? And he goes, don't change the subject. And then here comes May with her fucking double barrel shotgun. And she fires one shot, and Bubba Zanetti thinks she's not going to do anything else. and she manages to get all the bikers into a little storage room behind a locked wooden door.
And this is where May should have lit that place on fire.
May should have just blasted through the fucking door.
Mm-hmm.
And Jesse grabs Sprague. They get in the car. May waits for them to be at the car, and then she joins them, and they drive off. And the bikers then break down the door. And while this is happening, Max hears the gunshot, and he and Beanie
Bino?
or
Benno, I think.
Benno or Bino.
I knew a Bino.
Yeah. They hear the shots, and they head back to the house. Were you going to say the thing about the door?
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
So, no money for a prop door. It's an actual wooden door. So they literally had to break down this door.
Wow.
Which is why it took them, forever to get through the door.
There had to have been so many of them behind it pressing on. Because
Right.
it's not solid,
And
but
you
it's
can
actual
see
wood.
it,
Flexing.
flexing. So they had
I think the hinges gave out before the door gave out.
Yeah, I think I saw
Damn.
a section of the brick move
Yeah.
where they were kicking the shit out of the door.
Yep.
Damn. They couldn't, I don't know.
Get a
not
prop door?
Or not close it all the way?
Well, I mean, then it would look like they're not in a locked room.
But
Or
I
like-
also...
Or like
So-
put like a fishing line on it?
I guess they were just,
No
realistic.
money for a fishing line.
You know what? It's gonna be real easy, guys. Just break through that door.
Yeah.
You'll be fine. But
Yeah.
I also like when they're put that baby on the ground and the baby's half in a sack.
Oh, you're right.
And they toss him in a tire. And he's just what?
You know what? The guy who stole Tom Cruise's son in Minority Report learned a thing. Because he scooped that kid up in a bag, too, and no one saw it. Just a bag of towels.
Yeah, that's true.
I forgot the kid is
it's
halfway in a burlap
it's
sack.
in a
Yeah.
sack.
But Jesse and May don't get far down the road, and the car breaks down. And this is a really stupid interaction. Jesse goes, "The motor!" And May says, "What are you trying to say?" "What is it, girl? What's wrong with the car? Is Sprague stuck in a well?" It's like, ma'am, come on. You see the smoke coming out of this engine. You know what she's trying to say.
Yeah, there was fluid coming out of
The radiator?
something.
Yeah.
That car wasn't going to make it far
The
anyway.
car was fucked up. They really went hard on it on this road trip. And just-
Honestly, they should have did
trying to
something
say?
to the motorcycles. Wow.
They were trying to get in the car?
Yeah.
They were trying to escape. They weren't.
Yeah,
That-
May wasn't doing anything. May was just holding the gun on the building.
with her leg braces.
Yeah.
But also, how the fuck did the bikers sneak onto the property?
Well, ADT and CPI wasn't around back then.
It's motorcycles.
It's
they're
broad
loud.
daylight.
Yeah, you're right.
They're on motorcycles. Now, they could have turned the motorcycles off and walked them to the property, but there's 7 or 8 of them. And they're just on the other side of the house.
Mm-hmm.
How the fuck did they not see this?
Well, that's because they didn't get Sprague a gun to alert them.
That's true.
Details.
Yeah.
Sprague would have fired off a warning shot.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah,
You're right.
truck breaks down. They run there. They chase him down. They catch him.
May is standing behind the wagon with the gun pointed at the bikers, and she waits for him to get close, and she fires, completely misses.
Completely missed.
Doesn't hit a fucking thing.
And doesn't throw the gun at them as they drive past.
She didn't reload it because it's just a double barrel shotgun.
Yeah.
She fired one shot back at the bricks.
She didn't have any more. She grabbed the gun and nothing else. She was like, I got these 2 shots.
I guess that's fair.
But also, Jesse running down this road. Why did you not go into the grass?
Zigzag, evasive maneuvers, Jesse.
go into a field.
Go into the field. There's bumps. The bikes can go in there, but it's not going to be as easy.
Also, I feel like Jesse's wearing jellies. Is she?
Oh, they're sandals, but I
Okay.
thought they were jellies too. When she was going through the woods,
Right?
I was like, those are terrible fucking shoes to be
Right.
walking in the fucking forest.
I mean, if she was going to the beach and it was just
That's fair.
right down the hill from the house, but as we previously established, she had to go on a fucking hike.
Literally. In sandals.
Yes.
No.
Well, yeah, Jesse just ran down
Just
this
straight.
road as if she was going to outrun motorcycles.
Ugh.
So I'm not sure what she was thinking. She could not have been thinking. She was definitely panicking.
And she panics herself right into being run the fuck over. And we just see a baby shoe tumble after
And
the
a
bike.
ball.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, Sprague probably would have been better if they just left him in the back of the car.
With the gun.
Yeah.
No, because Max took the gun.
I know.
Yeah, Max-
There
right.
wasn't a gun in the car.
Well, or Grandma still had it.
The revolver, maybe. Maybe they took the revolver on
Yeah,
the
they might have
road
had
trip.
it. And I thought they were going to grab her or something like that. But nope, we're not going to grab her. They just sped up and just ran them both over.
Ran them down. And
kept right on trucking.
Yeah, they didn't even stop. They just kept right on
Yeah.
going. And then Max shows up and he runs up to the bodies, and we get this transition to the hospital. And these doctors have a very well, there's nothing we can do here. Let's get lunch attitude.
It was very
nonchalant.
They're like
There are a lot.
what's wrong? Oh, multiple ruptured organs, spleen, liver. She's got renal failure, which I believe means your kidneys are shutting down.
Yeah.
girl
Jess-
fucked up.
Jessie is totally fucked up.
She's done.
Missing an arm, I think.
Oh, I missed that part.
She's laying. She has no hair. And I think she's missing, like, a left arm.
Oh, I didn't even notice that.
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, they're just like, oh, tell him she's gonna be all
They're
right.
like,
Well-
oh, she's stable.
But before that, a nurse walks up and she goes, "Oh yeah, the kid was DOA,
Yeah.
dead on arrival."
Mm-hmm.
Then the doctor tells the nurse that, just any family, the husband, he's here, and tell her she's, like you guys just said, tell her she's stable, she's gonna be fine. And the camera is pulling out of the room, literally right outside the room. Max is standing right there and can hear everything
And
they're
the
fucking
nurse
saying
is like, oh yeah, he's been standing there like a zombie.
all day. It shows him he's gone back home, and he's sitting on the swing right there on the beach.
Looking rough.
We finally have our Mad Max. He's finally crossed that threshold, and he runs inside and he puts on his police gear and he goes back to the halls of justice.
Nothing.
The halls of justice.
Thank you.
Okay. And he steals presumably Fifey let him take it, but he gets in that new
No, he
V8
stole that.
Interceptor.
He stole it.
I like to think he stole it.
Yeah.
Uh,
And became the hall monitor.
Dealing with Rockatansky anymore. Now you're dealing with Mad Max.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Barnacle Boy.
He definitely quit that force, and he never went back and was like, all right, I'm back on.
No,
Put me
he
back in.
didn't.
Well, to be fair, Fifey told him take a couple weeks off, then come back, see if you change your mind. So presumably,
His mind was definitely not changed.
well, no, presumably that he never came back and said he had quit. So Fifey was like, "Oh yeah, no, you can take that car," or he stole it.
It was too late. He became the thing that he was
Trying not to.
trying not to become.
He finally crossed that line.
Oh, so we never know if Jesse makes it or not.
No, just like Goose,
Yeah.
we never get any confirmation whether she died.
Well, he was like, there could be a sequel.
You
guys.
find out in the sequel.
Oh, do we?
Yeah.
That they're dead?
Yeah.
Oh.
I really want to watch the sequel.
I want to see the sequel to see how we get to Fury Road.
You're not. There's no explanation how we get from here to here in any of the sequels. But the sequels are supposed to be told more like someone else is telling the story of Mad Max. It's not Max telling his own story. So that's why there's kind of not really a lot of cohesion there.
Yeah, I
Like-
remember reading that. It said that they're...
Like Beowulf? Beowulf is the tales of Beowulf, not actual.
Oh, that's true.
Okay, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like an Arthurian tale. It's tales of Arthur.
I don't know.
So yes.
But also, it took 74 minutes into this movie before we actually got to our Mad Max.
The titular.
The titular.
Because I kept asking him, I'm like, is this the rising action? And Jerry's like, well, we haven't had a climax yet, so yeah.
And the first place Max goes to is that garage where they were trying to get their tire changed.
Yep.
And he starts fucking with the mechanic because he wants to know their
Oh,
names.
he messed that mechanic. Well, not messed him up, but
Really scared
He
him.
dropped a car on him.
Yeah,
he
he
did
let,
drop a
he
car.
let him feel a little pressure.
Literally.
A little.
Under pressure.
Well, let me put this truck on your chest real quick.
I'm just going to lower this a little bit. He also smashed his head on the bottom of it because he shoves him back under the car when he's still got his head popped up. Mm-hmm. But Max wants to know the names of the bikers. And he wants confirmation of where they are. Because he's like, I'm going to say names. You say yes or no. Toe Cutter, Bubba Zanetti. Guy says Johnny the Boy. They're out getting gas, but they have to come back for their bikes. I believe he tells him. Because he doesn't know where they are. Mm-hmm. But when he first walked in, the guy was underneath the car, and he thought Max was Bubba Zanetti. Because he mentioned something about, your bike's not ready yet. I'm still working on it. There's part of it that's a pain in the ass. And the gang is out just stealing gasoline from a tanker truck. Like, they hop on the back. This is very Fast and Furious 4. and they're on the back of the truck, and they siphon gas off into their tanks, and they steal a bunch of shit.
This is the closest thing that reminded me to Fury Road.
The gas tanker?
Yeah, but I think they're stealing water.
I think you're right.
But yeah.
There is a big plot point of Mad Max 2, The Road Warrior, is a gas truck.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. But as they're doing this, Max has figured out where they were, and he starts following the truck.
Was there a gas shortage in Australia at the time as well?
There was an oil shortage in 1973.
Because I know we talked about an oil shortage in The Nice Guys.
So yeah, I
that's
think
around this time.
there was one beforehand. Yes.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that might just be feeding into the dystopian nature of it.
Yeah.
Things resources are becoming harder to find, but also this is a gang, and they don't want to buy shit. They're just going to take it.
They're like, we don't want to stimulate the economy. We want to steal from it.
Well, the plot of this movie, the world economy apparently just failed. Like there was an economic collapse, and now the decline is starting. That's where this movie takes place.
Okay, but like Erica said earlier, I think an opening scroll would have been nice to give us some of that information.
Something.
Yeah, you have to look this up.
Yeah, I need some sort of exposition because I get none.
Yeah. The bikers get back on their bikes, and there's 5 of them. It's Johnny the Boy, presumably Mudguts, and Kundalini.
And Toe Cutter.
No, Toe Cutter's not with this group.
Oh.
Bubba Zanetti and Toe Cutter are back at the garage, getting their bikes. But it's 5 bikers, 3 of which I'm pretty sure I know their names. The other 2 random guys, and Max plays chicken with them again. He actually blows past them, in between them, causing Johnny to crash. He goes past the other 4, turns around, and he waits for them to get on a bridge, and he does the chicken thing with them again. And all 4 of them go sailing off the bridge, and I had to look this up. They're dead. This is him taking them out. We never actually see in the film, like, confirmation that they're dead. We just see them land in the water, and 2 of them wipe out on the bridge.
To be fair, this is literally like the last 12 minutes of this film.
It is. We are right at the end.
Yeah.
And then Johnny gets up and takes off.
Yep. And Johnny goes to a payphone, and he calls Toe Cutter at the garage. And Toe Cutter and Bubba Zanetti leave the garage, but when Toe Cutter goes to get on his bike, when he picks up his helmet, 2 photographs fall out. 1 photograph of Goose and 1 photograph of Jesse and Sprague. And he's like, oh shit, we're being hunted.
That payphone
Clever
was
girl.
weird.
Just on the side of the highway?
Just on the side of the highway, chained up. For why?
Maybe it's like one of those emergency use phones, like if you work for the city or something.
Oh.
This next little montage it's after Bubba Zanetti and Toe Cutter have left the mechanic. They're driving, and they pass under a bridge, and atop the bridge we see the Black Interceptor, and Max is watching them. And this is a lot of cutting to the guys on the bikes, Max following them. Guys on the bikes, Max following them. And the guys go around a semi-truck with some like construction equipment on it, and Max gets stuck behind. And when the guy finally lets Max through, I wrote down that there was a polite honk.
Yeah, because he's like, hold up, there's cars coming. And he's like, waves him through when it's time to...
Yeah, and Max's car, beep, beep. And the driver's that womp, womp.
Yeah.
And Max is going down this road, and there's a big sign that said restricted area or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Which
it has the skull and bones.
Yeah, what the fuck is going on?
Poison.
It's Fury Road. Don't go down here.
Or maybe
Oh.
that's where the gang
Hangs out.
patrols, or who knows. I don't
Yeah,
know.
it was just a weird sign.
Yeah.
Or it might just be playing into the dystopian thing
That's
of,
true.
hey, shit's fucked up over here.
Mm-hmm.
But Max sees on the side of the road, it looks like Johnny has crashed his bike through a fence. Johnny's laying in this field, face down. The bike is there, hole in the fence. And Max gets out of the car with another shotgun. And he's looking around, like, all right, this is kind of suspicious. And then he turns around, boom, Bubba Zanetti shoots him in the knee.
Mm-hmm.
Max falls. Johnny gets up. He's like, oh, is it starting? Are we doing it? And Max is laying on his back, reaching for this shotgun. And Bubba Zanetti and Toe Cutter ride by, and one of them run over his arm. And when they stop and they turn back around, Toe Cutter tells him, "Hey, quit playing around."
Just kill him. Yeah.
To which Bubba Zanetti says,
I know what I'm doing.
"Oh, no, he says easy. I know what I'm doing."
I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. And he drives right at Max. Max gets the shotgun, and Bubba Zanetti's instantly dead.
Mm-hmm.
He says, "I know what I'm doing. Let me handle it." Dead. And Johnny takes off. Toe Cutter takes off. Max manages to limp himself into his car.
I'm not saying that, I would not be slowed down getting shot in the knee. I might be down for the count.
Mm-hmm.
But man, did he take forever to get to this car. They really dragged this seat out. I was like, oh my God.
He couldn't even use his other leg. He was dragging it.
Yeah.
I think he even falls down at one point, and now he can't use his arm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So he's...
So I think your leg is dead weight and your arm is dead weight. What you doing?
Yeah, I'm just saying this scene. I was so done with this. At this point, I was already done with the movie. But at this point, I was even more done.
So your main thing here is it's just the scene just took too long.
Too long.
Yeah, I got you. Because it took him so long, a bird already came and started eating Bubba Zanetti.
Yeah.
That annoyed me because it was a falcon. Falcons are not predatory birds.
Yeah, they're hunters.
Yes.
They're not
Or
scavengers.
not predatory scavenger birds.
Yeah.
Yes. And I was just like, they couldn't have trained a vulture
in Australia?
1979 times?
Well, that might have just been someone's pet bird.
It probably was.
Like, oh yeah,
They're
birds eat dead things.
Just sit on him. Nobody will know it's a falcon.
Jeff, don't move.
40 years from now, this might come into play. But right now, we're okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And now we have the last standoff of Toe Cutter.
Toe Cutter's last stand.
Yeah, and Max is right on his fucking ass. And just like Etta said a little while ago about Jessie running through the woods and keeps looking behind her, Toe Cutter keeps looking behind him at Max, and as he's doing this, he's not paying attention, and here comes this fucking truck.
Whole ass truck.
And they use that shot again of the bulging eyeballs real quick, and wham! This truck just takes out Toe Cutter.
And the truck also gets sort of taken out itself. Like,
oh yeah,
he hit
it
that shit
chews
hard.
that bike up.
Yeah, he hit that thing hard.
So apparently they paid the driver of this truck $50.
Yeah.
To run over this motorcycle in the road, but he didn't want to damage his truck, so the front of the truck in the shot where you see the shot of the impact of him hitting Toe Cutter, the front of the truck is painted on. It's a board that's on the front of it, but they just made it look like the actual grill of the truck. Wow! And you can see the bike get chewed up underneath of it, the dummy of Toe Cutter, and Max rides off and. This is where we have a little nighttime rain driving, and he's having some long ass blinks. Mm-hmm. And he's struggling. He's losing a lot of blood.
I thought he was gonna die.
Crashed his car.
Yeah.
Well, I think he's just been hunting people, so I don't think
he's tired.
Yeah.
Very, very tired.
Very drained. He's had a long time since the farm.
And he's still in the leather.
Oh God.
So he's probably got that sweat puddled inside of him.
Oh yeah.
He's got swamp ass.
Oh yeah. Swamp leg, swamp ass, swamp back.
Ugh.
Swamp man.
Really sanitizing that knee.
Ugh. Well, as he's
Hopefully
developing
he is hydrated.
gangrene, he's riding down the road and he sees a bike just on the side of the road. Our boy Johnny.
Johnny boy.
Johnny the boy. And Johnny is at a site of a car crash, which I'm pretty sure he caused. And he's dragging someone's body to steal their boots.
But yeah, he's still in the boots.
He's still in these boots, and Max just puts the gun up to the side of his head. And Max says almost nothing in this entire scene. Mm-hmm. And Johnny's like, "Look, he was already dead. I'm just taking some stuff. It doesn't matter. I didn't hurt anybody." Which I firmly believe he killed this man.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And Max just throws him a pair of handcuffs and he says, "Around your ankle." Oh, yeah, sure. And he drags him over to the other side of the car because Max also sees that there's a broken gas line. Mm-hmm. And he handcuffs him to the underside of the car. And he snatches the lighter off from around his neck. And the whole time, not saying a word, but Johnny the boy is like, look, man, I didn't do anything. You can't just handcuff me to this car. I didn't do anything wrong. It's not my fault he's dead.
Mm-hmm.
And Max grabs a broken headlight, which
I think so.
Which is like bowl shaped.
Yeah.
And he sets it up underneath the gasoline, and he sets the lighter up underneath that on almost like there's a little slide.
Little ramp.
Mm-hmm.
So when the headlight fills up, the gas will go down the slide and then get lit up by the lighter.
Right. And he goes back over to Johnny and he throws him a hacksaw.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, those cuffs are high tensity steel. It'll take you 10 minutes to cut through it with this saw. Now, if you're good, you can get through your ankle in 5. And he just turns around and fucking walks away.
Mm-hmm.
I love this part of the movie. I love how he just said, everyone else I wanted dead. I want you to suffer.
Mm-hmm.
And the Johnny is just like, you can't do this. You can't do this to me. You can't kill me.
He's like, I was sick. I didn't even mean to steal it. Like, the guy was already dead. I just came for the boots. I was sick. The court said so.
Yeah, he mentioned that. The lawyer said that I was sick, so it's not my fault.
Yeah, I forgot he said that.
Yep.
And Max just gets in the car and he drives away. And as he's driving away, he's looking in the mirror and we see just a big fiery explosion behind him. And it does a zoom in on Max, and then it fades to the road, and then it fades to credits, and that's the end of our movie.
That is it. That's the ending.
I'll save my opinion for last, since I kind of put you guys through this. But
you put Erica through this.
Oh, I put her through it every day.
You put Erica through this season.
I think the next season will be better.
I didn't mention the tattoos.
Oh, please.
So you notice, you first see it Knight Rider.
They all
he
have
has
like a
little
yeah.
Dot on his. So apparently Toe Cutter has one on his right temple, and then Johnny the boy gets one after he kills Goose.
Oh, I never noticed Johnny's tattoo.
Johnny has one.
I think Bubba Zanetti has one too.
He does.
Yeah, most of the gang we see up close, you see their tattoos.
So apparently it's a circle with like a line through it. It's like a Greek symbol for killer.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering what the tattoo was. I didn't look it up.
Yeah.
The more you know.
Yeah, I
Kite killers.
Because apparently George Miller has Greek heritage. So there's little bits and pieces of it. Like on the beginning of the scene where they have the sign or whatever, there's like a Greek graffiti too.
Like when we first opened the movie?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I didn't notice that either.
But
That's
yeah,
cool.
I like the little tattoo things because they're just like, it was kind of their initiation into the gang.
I wish I had noticed Johnny's because that's the only one I didn't notice have one.
He got one after Goose.
Yeah.
After cooking Goose.
Oh, so he didn't deserve that because Goose didn't die.
Yeah.
Got to take that back.
Oh, he died eventually.
Eventually.
I feel like he did that.
I'm sure he did.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, if he didn't, I'm sure he wanted to.
Do y'all think they named the character Goose after he got cooked or before he got cooked?
Like when they were writing it?
His name was like Jimbo.
Yeah.
The whole thing. They're like, yeah.
They were writing
Goose?
around Thanksgiving, and they were like, oh man, this goose right here is cooked.
Yeah.
I got an idea.
Let's call this guy Goose.
George, get on the phone.
Gosh.
So I'll go around and I'll ask first Erica, would she have regretted seeing this in the theater?
Hell yeah! I would have regretted seeing this movie in the theaters. I regretted seeing this movie on the TV.
I think we all knew that answer was coming.
This movie sucked.
Was there anything about it you liked?
No!
Okay, that's fair.
Not there. Literally, I can usually find a redeeming moment in a movie. There was nothing in this movie that I liked. Like, not a damn thing. Not a music. Not a line. Not a person.
Not Goose?
No! He was my favorite character, but coincidence. Didn't like him because he was annoying. So,
God
no.
damn. Well, all right.
Did not like this movie. Worst movie of the season.
Hey, Etta, what'd you think?
Well, I probably wouldn't have seen this in theaters, honestly. But I did enjoy this movie. It was, like you said, it was kind of nonsensical, but I was very entertained by it. honestly. Even though there were some questionable things, like, who's watching the child?
Oh my god. You know what? That is one thing I did like. I like they gave that baby a gun every chance they could.
Oh, see? Redeeming quality
Yep.
right there.
There we go.
Yep.
I've never seen a baby with a gun before, and that was a win.
But, I don't know. I liked it. I wanted to watch the second one right afterwards, so.
Just so I can know where we're going.
I've heard the second one's the best one.
You
My
were
mom
hella
says the third
confused
one's
for the
good.
day.
Huh?
Does your mom just like Tina Turner?
My mom loves Tina Turner.
Okay.
That's probably
It's
why.
just
I've heard the third one is the worst one.
Heavy bias. Yeah, that's what I saw, that the third one had the worst reviews and whatnot.
So, Jeremy, what'd you think? Would you have regretted seeing this in the theater?
I think it started off a little rocky, but I feel like I probably wouldn't have regretted it. I'm honestly on the fence. I'm not sure. But I feel like I probably could have found enough things. It was like, all right, it was entertaining enough. But I was confused in the beginning.
I was confused as the
Same.
whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I would have regretted seeing this in the theater. Just like Jeremy just said, I was very confused at the beginning. The overall story of it, I kind of like just cops fighting a biker gang, and then it becomes personal. But the fact this movie is called Mad Max, and we don't get to experience Mad Max except for like the last 10 minutes of the movie, it was kind of a slog for that. Now, I will say, once he goes full Mad Max, I do like it. The scene where he throws Johnny that hacksaw was my favorite part. That was some stone cold shit.
Mm-hmm.
I liked Goose. I liked Fifey.
I like Sprague.
I know you like Sprague.
Sprago. Best character.
Toe Cutter was a character.
I loved that we got to experience stuff with the villains. Because in a lot of movies you don't really get that.
Right.
I found the villains were interesting. They were psychotic, but they were entertaining.
Mm-hmm.
They were just fucking with shit just to fuck with it.
Yep.
They really had no reason for anything except for wanting to hurt the cops for the Knight Rider.
I'm gonna be honest. If it came out on all news stations all around the world that they're just like, hey, the world economy has collapsed. Money means nothing now, and that means that everybody's money. Everybody's money means nothing now. We would definitely get people exactly like this biker gang, like that.
Absolutely,
that fast.
100%. I agree with.
Just hurting people for no reason, stealing, destroying, the whole nine. Somebody would definitely cut their eyebrow off. I honestly feel like the movie in and of itself would have been a better movie if Mad Max was a rogue version of the MFP.
If he had started off mad.
Yeah, he started off as Mad Max. So you had the MFP, and he defected from the MFP sometime earlier in the story. And so all the cops knew about him, and they were just like, hey, we try and arrest, we try and arrest criminals and do things the right way. And then while they're trying to catch people, every now and again, Mad Max would just pop up and take these criminals out before they can actually arrest them.
So he's
he's
their version of
vigilante.
Batman.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they don't work with him at all.
Oh, no. I'm sorry. A better comparison and a more close comparison would be he's like the Punisher.
Yeah. So he would basically...
He lost his wife and child, and he's going on a vigilante mission, and it would be better if the police were also having to deal with him.
Yeah.
That would be way better.
Take us out of here.
Movie ticket?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now's the part where we find out not only how much this movie would have cost us to see in 1979, but also what it would have cost us all season.
Oh, God. All season?
To see all the movies?
All 20?
If we had seen all 20 of these movies, I have the total of how much it would have cost us. I'm not going to ask you guys to guess that.
Oh.
Oh, why not?
I can if you want.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
It's just a guess.
You can figure out what it actually costs us if you... All of the time that we spent, and then what we make per hour, that's what it costed us.
Well, doing this, we make 0 per hour. All right, so 1979. What do you think it would have cost us to see this?
$2.18.
$2.65.
$3.50.
I can do some math. Hold on. Carry that. Add the change. Etta.
Yes! Damn it!
You said 265.
Yeah.
And you said 218.
Yeah.
251.
Damn.
So close.
So close. So for a bonus point, you guys can guess how much all season would have cost us for 20 movies.
20 movies.
I forgot all the amounts, so I'm lost in the sauce.
I am going to guess $72.31.
Very specific. $60.
I want to do 49.
You guys just kept getting lower and lower. Erica was the closest, and she was still way the fuck off.
Oh.
So for all 20 films that we saw this season, it would have cost us roughly $106.87.
I'm so mad at myself because I wanted to just say $100, but I didn't.
So that was a little bonus point Erica just got.
Nice.
So for all of our scores for the season, with everyone we had on the show, I'm going to go from last to first. Tied for last is Sammy and Abby with 0.
Yeah, that checks out.
Next we have Blair. Then we have Corey in 4th place with 2. So in 3rd place, we have Etta with 4.
Not bad, because you showed up
Because I came in halfway through the season, yeah.
So it's down to Erica and Jeremy. One of you have 6, and the other one has 8.
Wow.
I feel like Erica got it.
Erica had to have the 8.
Yeah, it's definitely Jeremy, because Jeremy won the most.
Jeremy got
eight.
8 correct answers this season.
Oh my goodness.
Damn.
So Jeremy will be winning himself a nice little certificate
Hot damn.
showing that he won my pointless little game.
I love games and winning at games.
And if that's what's going to say on there, pointless little game. And we'll post that to our socials when you guys see this episode come out. This has been our finale for season 1.
Good season.
I want to thank you guys so much for doing this with me. This was so much fun for me. Just sitting around talking about movies is like the only thing I'm good at.
Aw.
Oh, I wouldn't say that.
Perv.
Okay, well.
But I've been having so much fun with this. These are movies some of these are movies I would never heard of. I probably would never watch some of the other ones.
Hoodlum.
Never again. Never again.
So we'll be back in September. So it's about 3 months from now with our premiere for season 2. We'll see you guys then. For now, I've been Adam.
I'm Erica.
I'm Etta.
I'm Jeremy.
We've been Getting to the Theater, and we'll see you guys next time.